them now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day, another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt Mclusky. What's going on, bro?
Not much. Hopefully, my cables doesn't get fucked up again.
Those of you that watch every single week, this is the last episode of 2025 for Generation X Gaming, episode 469, giggity giggity. We will be back on January 1st, which is the first day of the year of 2026, and our start of our 12th season of Generation X Gaming. We're here live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and also Twitch. So if you're watching, I don't know why it hasn't. Is it live? Yeah, it's live over there on Twitch as well. So we're here live on both platforms simultaneously. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do appreciate you very much. We just go over a few of the top stories of the past week and we rant along the way. On today's show, Sarge, we're going to be talking about Arc Raiders. We're going to be talking about Xbox boss reacts to dropping plans for $80. We're going to talk about the internet not convinced it should care about the next PvP game of Highguard that came out at the end of the Game Awards. Steam has the biggest game releases of ever. Beat last year, it had 18,000. We'll tell you what this year was. We're going to talk about Ubisoft acquires Amazon. Ubisoft acquires Amazon Games Montreal team. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about Xbox and what they have plans for the start of next year. We're going to talk about Silk Song. We're going to talk about Marathon. We're going to talk about Call of Duty and Battlefield. We're going to talk about NVIDIA, about what's happening with the RAM and whatnot. We're going to talk about Netflix. We're going to talk about YouTube and the Oscars. We're going to talk about Ubisoft in general. We're going to talk about Fallout. Not the show, but we're going to talk about Fallout, Todd Howard, Bethesda, and many other things on the show. So if you guys like it, again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Sarge? Anything exciting happen before we get to what we've been playing?
Exciting? I don't know about exciting. Got another modem. Seems to be working better.
Well, that's exciting. That's exciting for the tech people out there.
New tech's always good.
Yeah, new tech. I love new tech. We got new tech. I got an extender for our because we're building the storage shed. We need internet out there, so we have an internet extender out there now. I'm thinking about hardwiring though, which I mean I have to dig a hole, which I'm not really looking forward to. So extender it is right now. Extender it is.
Dig a hole to where?
Well, I was going to run a line.
To where?
To my shed. I was going to put internet in my shed.
You were going to run a line to your shed. Why don't you just get a Wi-Fi hookup in the shed?
What we did, well, if I get a Wi-Fi hookup, I have to run a line to the Wi-Fi. Otherwise, it's an extender.
Okay. I'm
I either
sure
physically take the cable from the modem and go out my office into the ground and all the way to the shed, or I get an extender outside my window, and then it extends over to the other one. We tried the one where you can plug it into an outlet as long as it's on the main outlet of what this is on, but it didn't work. It didn't work very well. So we returned that one.
I'm gonna let that one go.
Oh, someone.
I'm gonna let that one go.
I did. Oh, what was this? Oh. What was this? Oh, my son made me something. Well, here, you can come in. Just hold it.
It's too late for Christmas list now.
There you go. He wrote last show of 2025. Look at that.
Oh, very nice.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, very nice. Nice job.
Thank you very much, son. Did you just make that? Oh my! I was like, That's why it's
Well,
not colored.
At least we know he can spell.
He said he'll make a better one for 2026.
Okay.
He's got a year to do it. All right. So, did I tell you, Sarge? I told chat why the water broke the other day on the farm. Did you hear?
You told me it was a cow escapade.
Yes. Yeah. So the cows destroyed. They escaped, destroyed the well, and then ran back into their into their home. Yeah, it's fantastic.
I don't understand. Did they escaped? Were wandering, and then
They were wandering all through the night,
and then got back inside the cage, back inside the enclosure.
No. They escaped. They were out on the road. They were out about throughout the night, walking down the street. Yeah. And then they came back onto the property through my front driveway. And then my dog started freaking out. So then he chased them. And then they ran around the house, broke the pipe, and then went back out to the road. And they were just laying on the side of the road by the gate where they're supposed to go in, like where we go in to feed them and stuff.
Yeah.
So they just went back there and laid down, and then in the morning at 6:30 in the morning, we found them there, and we opened up the gate, and they just walked right in. They're just like, "Can we go back in?"
But if they got out, why don't they just go back in the way they came?
They don't know where the fuck they came out. They're not that smart.
Okay, so I'm supposed to believe that the cow is dumb. It doesn't know where to go back in. But meanwhile, it knew to leave, come back, go through the gate, and then wait by the gate where they let him in. But that's fine.
I mean, I would assume that they looked at everyone else's yard and said, "This is not big enough. We got to go back over there." I mean, I don't know. They're tasty, not smart. That's right, Chopper.
I mean,
that's right.
I can't believe that the cows are just. Everyone just chalks up the cows are just dumb.
They are. Look, this is exactly how they escape. Right, 2,000-pound male leans up against the fence. The fence post breaks. He goes, "Oh, what's over here?" And he starts to eat the grass, and everyone's like, "What are you eating?" And they're like, "Oh," and they all start walking out there, and they start eating the grass together, and they're like, they're like, "Oh, there's more grass over there," and they just keep going. It's night; they don't give a shit. They just keep walking down the street. They're like, "Oh, there's more grass," and they're like, "Wait a minute, I don't think we're supposed to be here, right?" And like, "Yeah, this looks familiar," and they just follow. They just follow the leader. That's it. You find one.
You got one bull, and the rest are cows. Is what you're
That's
telling
correct.
Me? They're following the bull around. Okay.
That's correct. So, real quick, I'll turn with the membership for 26 months. Says happy to be a member on the last stream of the year and being 469. Favorite number, if you know what I mean. Giggity, giggity. Is 469 your favorite number? It's 469. 469s. All right, let's go. Wait, where is it?
Do we have to discuss what's going on? All I've seen for the last week since the Game Awards is the media open up and attack Larian and Claire Obscure. That's all I've seen.
I mean, these are things I wasn't going to talk about. We can talk about it. But before we get to that, what we've been playing. So another week, last show. What have you been playing? You playing anything different, exciting?
Well, Company Heroes 3 released the new DLC for their general packs on Thanksgiving. So
is there an earthquake happening at your house? What's happening with the camera?
You're
shaking the desk. Go ahead.
I'm not touching the desk. I'm not. Oh, the armchair is here. There we go. There we go. Yeah, it's the big one.
It's like what's happening right now?
Yeah, so the DLC came out on Thanksgiving, so I've been playing that, and then I've been playing Minecraft just to calm myself because it's holiday time now, and so I need to play something that just calms me down when I get home from work. I tried the Silk Song game.
Did you? You tried Silk Song?
I tried it. Yeah.
Did you try the first one?
And then I can't remember if I played the first one. I just played the second one. What else? There was something else I played. The Kingdom Hearts expansion with the Greek gods, which is It's weird. I consider them the independent studio that does the same thing that No Man's Sky does. It's like every time they have an update, they fix a bunch of stuff, but they don't tell anybody anything. And then I don't. It doesn't say to look up anything, but as I'm playing the game, I see things that they've added that make the game easier, or quality of life issues that happen inside the game. So that's done well. What else? Christmas shopping mostly for this past week. Yeah.
That's what you've been playing, Christmas shopping? I don't remember that game.
Christmas shopping is a game. You didn't know?
No.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely is a game.
I usually do my Christmas shopping throughout the year, and I don't wait for the last second.
Yeah, but if you get something, how do you know? I lose track of shit like that. I have to edit it in the same month. I can't.
That's true. You forget that sometimes we have a show on Thursday nights.
So can he can't hear me. Your son can't hear me, right?
No.
Okay, so
wait. Hold on, let me check. Go ahead, say something.
Austin, can you hear me?
Okay.
No.
All right. There you go.
Okay. He's not listening to us on a different monitor, right?
No.
Okay. So in order to try to kick Christmas one more year, because I know he's on the edge of knowing Santa doesn't exist, I sent myself gifts from Santa to open up on Christmas.
Okay.
Okay. And they're done Santa way. There's no addresses on the boxes. It's, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and it's for something that I asked for that nobody got me. So Santa got it for me. I want to see if I can kick Christmas one more year. Kick the can down the road one more year.
Yeah, I think it's over after this. I can't say
Sure.
why.
I'm pretty sure.
It's over after this. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good run.
I've said my story a couple weeks ago, so I can't say it now because
it's a good run.
They're here. Yeah. So I played the finals, okay, which is Embark's other game that they came out with a couple years ago. I played it. I played it when it first came out on PC. When it first launched, I haven't touched it since. They're doing a skin for Arc Raiders if you go into the finals. So I was like, so I can't say the story now, Dupless. If you have to go back like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, I can't say it because he can hear. So I play the finals. Because I haven't played in so many years, and I went back in. Okay, I had to do like the tutorial and everything. I liked the game. I thought it was interesting. I played the 3v3v3, so it's 3 teams of 3. You get points based on the eliminations you do, the vaults that you break into. So you're like running around. It's a game show. I liked it, but I just don't like these like PvP, direct PvP type of stuff. I like Arc Raiders, stuff like that. I like the Division, Dark Zone, stuff like that. I'm kind of over the, red versus blue type of stuff. Marvel Rivals is a little different. I don't play a lot of like CSGO like I did in the past, or Team Fortress, stuff like that. But they did a really good job with the destruction and stuff in this, so I played a little bit of that. I've been playing Disney Speedstorm for like the last, August, September, October, like the last 4 or 5 months of the year. It's a shame that there's so much monetization in this game, because it literally is one of the best kart racing games out there as far as like the amount of characters they have in the game, the amount of tracks that you have in the game, just the way the game feels and plays. It's really good. But the microtransactions, there's like 4 different currencies. They're constantly trying to, sell this, upgrade that. It's like very mobile phony, you know what I mean? Type of monetization type of stuff.
But that's what the kids are playing.
Yeah. And you can play it on mobile. Here's the best part, right? Not the best part. It's funny. I say that, but it's not the best part. It's being a meme. You can literally put the mobile controls where you're not even playing the game, right? So you can play the game on mobile phone and like it just drives itself. And it's like,
what are we talking about?
Exactly. And it's like, but why? But it really is like when you play like a group, like if you can play local co-op. The only thing I don't like about the game is I want to use all the characters, but you can only use the characters that you've unlocked. So there's 108 characters. I've unlocked like 23.
108 characters.
There's 108 characters, yeah. Yeah, 108 characters, and they put like 3 or 4 every new season or whatever, right?
But don't you see how all this all equals the same thing? It's just a reason to keep you inside that game. That's all it is.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't see a world where everybody can have that kind of business model when there's 19,000 games coming out every year. We don't have time for this. You have to make a game for someone to play and finish or play and quit, and then we move on to the next one. We cannot keep going
Disney
like
Speedstorm, Altair.
We cannot keep doing this. We can't have every game where there's an update every 90 days.
Well,
reason to go back into the game.
So there's that I've been playing. I've been playing Helldivers a little bit. They have a new update where we played it last week before the podcast. We played where it's a new lava planet and whatnot. New Warbond. Within that, we were playing that a little bit. Played Star Wars Battlefront 2. We was like going back to that. There was another game I played.
The mini golf game?
Oh, yeah, I did a VR mini golf, but we did that last week. I talked a little bit about that last week. I'm trying to make that a thing, like where we do the mini golf game once a week or once every other week,
and try not to fall over or puke in a bucket. Trying to play.
No, it was. I'll tell you what, it was a little rough because I played for like 4.5 hours wearing that headset, and I was standing like I am now.
And then when you took the headset off, you wanted to shoot the refrigerator for some reason.
Yeah, I didn't know where I was. I took it off and I was like, reality sucks, you know, like I was in the Matrix. I was in the real Ready Player One type of thing, right?
But
I played.
Imagine what happens when it gets so good that you don't want to leave.
But I think it's already there for some people, even though the graphics are not there. Like people like living in the.
I'll tell you that it is. You want to know how I know? Because I just watched the story this morning. I got up, had some coffee, was trying to rub the crust out of my eyes, and the first.
That's not where I thought you were going with that.
Nope. The first news story that comes on the television is woman marries AI boyfriend.
We watched a video of that where the guy was cheating on his wife with AI and she was jealous of him.
No, not that one. This woman.
This is a different one.
Yep. In a church with a priest in a wedding gown with a basket with a device in it. She married the AI boyfriend. Bro, we are cooked. We are cooked.
We are cooked, but people are cooked. Yes, 100%.
No, I'm talking about mankind. Mankind is
cooked. Yeah, 100%.
Cooked.
Do you remember back in the day?
She's there looking at the basket with the digital, crying, like seek help. Right?
There was a guy who married his car and had a relationship with his car. Do you remember that? He would like go underneath the car and like
what? Fondle the car?
Yeah. You don't remember that? It was like on MTV. This is like 10 years ago.
Listen, I know that Reagan closed down the sanitariums because we were doing experiments on people, and that was.
Oh, we got to open those things back up.
We have to open these back up again and put some better rules on.
Yeah, we got to open those things back up
because I know people think there is not mental illness, and everyone just walking around doing their own thing. They use the term freedom and my individuality to substitute for severe mental illness. Like that's where we are. Severe mental illness, right? Who allowed that to happen? Who allowed her to get married at a church to an AI person and nobody said anything?
All those people.
All those people, enablers. Yeah. Enablers.
Did they all have their phones out recording this? They're like, look at this idiot getting married to an AI.
Bro, we are cooked.
What about the AI wants a divorce? Get half their shit? How does that work?
Well, the AI is smarter than her, obviously. So when she gets a divorce, he's gonna own it all. He's gonna just transfer it.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget where he stuck it. You don't remember that video? You go look it up. Man in a relationship with his car.
I am not looking up anything about anyone marrying anything but another human being. I don't care.
Did you hear about? Not that we've been playing. This is what we've been playing, but did you see what's happening? So I came across a channel. And the girl has an autoimmune system problem where she can't make YouTube videos like she wants to. So she cloned herself with digital AI. Okay. where she used Sora, okay, made herself in Sora, okay, then used
As
the
a
AI
cartoon?
program.
As a cartoon or as an actual person?
Actual person.
Okay.
Like you can't tell, okay? And I didn't know this until after I watched 2 of her videos. And the way she starts it, she's like, I think her name is Julie something, right? And she's like, I am a clone of, and she says it, Julia. I'm like, I didn't pay attention. I was just like, okay, whatever, right? And she's wearing a Star Trek shirt.
So she doesn't have to look. She doesn't have to worry about being on camera herself. So her clone does it. So is she telling the clone what to say?
Yeah. So she does this whole thing where she cloned herself, used the voice module, like the voice program 11, whatever it is, and she taught it her voice. She trained it for the actual outfit. So she got different outfits that she could put on her avatar, which is not an avatar. It's a human. Okay. It's like her.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is, and then she just writes the stuff and then puts it in 11, and then 11 speaks in her voice. So now she can make video after video after video after video, and she doesn't have to worry about being on camera, putting makeup on, and all this other stuff. So
she's basically, this is surrogates now. Where's Bruce Willis?
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I'm like, holy shit. I was like, this is pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, that's the pilot line for surrogates.
Yeah, because she has, like, she goes into it. She's like, she's a person that knows about AI. She teaches people about AI. So now she's using AI for her channel because of her disease. And now she's teaching people how to, and I did notice something because the way it talks, now that I tell you, you'll be like, oh, it's AI. But if you didn't know, you're like, something's off, right? Something's off about the thing. It's just the way her avatar would like look at the screen.
I'll be looking at everything. I'm looking for a third nipple, anything out of the ordinary. I'm looking for something. I'll find out that it's AI.
My point to this is now, okay? And it's almost flawless.
It's the worst it's going to be.
It's the worst it's going to be. We're not at the Will Smith eating spaghetti stage anymore, okay? We're at
we're way past that.
You can't tell, okay? Unless she literally came out and said, and she starts every video, I am the clone of Julie whatever, right? And, I just knocked my headset out. Hold on a second. Okay. She says that she's the clone, and I'm like, why does she say that, right? Yeah, but you hate the AI voice. You can't tell it's her voice. Like she's put the time in. Like you have to go up to the other tier to use like to teach Sora and teach.
She's
stuff.
all in. She's all in.
Yeah, all in.
She's not doing the test phase version of it. She's all in. She's paid.
Yeah. So I thought about it for a second. I was like, I want to do a trick, try it, but it takes a long time to implement the stuff. Where could I do it for me, and could chat tell? Okay, because a lot of them say they could tell what AI is. Okay, so I want to, maybe in 2026, I might do a morning show live. Okay, when I'm not actually on, but not tell anybody. Yeah, so any day, it could be right now. Maybe I already did it, Sarge. Maybe this.
But you said next year.
Well, maybe I lied. Maybe I'm not myself.
I'm going to have to ask like Blade Runner questions to see if you're fucking real or not.
Yeah. It would be interesting, though. It would be interesting to see if people could start telling. Right? Anyway. Yeah, that's all the stuff that we've been playing. So let's start this show, or this last episode of the top gaming news for the past week, shall we? Yeah, I would have to like curse at somebody. Altern says, it's obvious this is an AI stream because there's no way someone owns a fedora Sarge has.
The guy puts up his hand to say, hey, what's up? And he's got 10 fingers on one hand. I knew it.
Yeah, the fedora's AI. All right, let's start off at the start here, shall we? We'll start off at the beginning with Arc Raiders. Okay. It says, Arc Raiders, your bloodlust does have consequences in Arc Raiders. As Dev confirms, we do analyze behavior and match accordingly. Now,
why do you have to do that? Why do you have to do that?
Well, It says on the next article, it says Arc Raiders interview, Embark talks behavior-based matchmaking, map updates, and playing nice with strangers. So I want to kind of go over what they talk about. Okay, it says the true theories of Embark matches players partially based on the niceness. In the example our interviewer gave, it would make sense if Embark to match players who clearly prefer passive runs like minded raiders, especially in solo queue. Samuel has cagey about the details, but did confirm that the player behavior is in fact a matchmaking. So this is interesting, right? This is very interesting because if players want to play solo and they want to play PvE, right? They're asking for a PvE mode, but the PvPers are pushing against it, saying, no, this game is supposed to be PvP. It is what it is. But if I don't shoot you, maybe let's say 3 games, right? 3 games. Is this tabathon? Yeah, there's a lot of tabs. I'm fucking doing a podcast show. What do you think I'm doing here, Dupless? Okay, so I don't know if you know this. It's a podcast about news stories from the past week. There's the news stories from the past week. So, plus this is a fraction of what Asmongold has on his when he does stuff. Okay, so anyway, people are like, this game doesn't need a PvE. Doesn't need PvE. But here's the thing: they're still cagey about it, but behavior, right, inside the game, if you're a pacifist or you don't want to shoot somebody, it says, hey, this person wants to be with other people that don't want to shoot, right? So this is interesting if this is actually happening and it's true, because then they don't have to add a PvE because the PvE is already inside the game because it's placing people with other people that do not want to fire.
I get it. I just don't like being manipulated. I don't like being manipulated.
But how is that being manipulated?
You're manipulating the rooms that people are in because you're trying to put like people together. It's almost like you're segregating people, basically.
Yeah, but if the people want to shoot people, then they're putting you with people that want to be shot, and the people that don't want to be shot.
It's a shooter.
Yeah, but
it's a shooter.
Yeah, but if the people want to play the way they want to play, they're not being punished.
You want to play a shooter, but not shoot. That's what you're trying to. That's the defense. I'm a shooter, but I don't want to shoot.
Well, they want to shoot, but they want to shoot the PvE elements, not the PvP elements.
Got it.
They're going against the bots. They're not going against the people.
So in order to cater to those people, we're gonna as long as you don't shoot somebody, we'll put you in a room that people who less shoot at other people.
Yeah, because from a business standpoint, it makes sense, right? Because if the people that don't want to partake, right, inside that, they would just leave the game then. From a business standpoint, no, listen to me. From the business standpoint, they're trying to make it where most people want to keep both people happy, right?
Which you can't. Go ahead.
But that's what they're trying to do.
Got it.
But they're doing it in a cagey way because they're not saying this actually is happening. They're saying, yes, it's part of the actual matchmaking process of the behavior. Right?
I don't like soft people.
Okay.
I'll just say it that way. I don't like how everybody's fucking soft. Okay. it's too trying to accommodate everybody doesn't work. It doesn't work. Right? You can do whatever you want to try to make everybody happy. It doesn't work. You make a game for a specific type of person, you sell that game to that demographic, you move on with your life. Because you can't get the number you want because of what you sold. Now you're trying to manipulate the game to go both ways in order for you to squeeze out some more people to come into your game because they want to play their way.
Well, I don't think they're actually
Burger King.
Yeah, but I don't think they're changing anything. I think this was from the start. The people that were playing the game so much started figuring it out. So for the last 4 or 5 weeks, people are like, I think when you stop shooting people, you get put into other people that are super nice. That's why solos.
So once again,
we're finding people that were much more friendlier.
It'll be great in the beginning because as the algorithm tries to find out who's good and who's bad, right? It'll spend the next couple months siphoning you guys off, and then you realize when you're going into games, you'll realize that you're in a game with the same guy all the time because he does what you do, and you can hear his voice after a while. And you recognize his voice like it's the same dude, even though you don't see a name, right? So you're going to know it's him. So then you'll have the psychopaths who spend all week gearing up.
Not killing anybody, just to go in the lobbies with the non-killers.
Right. Just to get into the lobby with the non-killers and murder everybody.
Yeah. But
satisfy their bloodlust.
That's exactly right.
Crying, right? Because I want to be in the room with the murderer.
You're exactly saying what happened in Sea of Thieves. Right? In Sea of Thieves, the people that didn't want to do the PvP figured out that they can get in the server and then invite someone else in the server, and they could have just the 16 people in the server that were just like friendly while they were playing Sea of Thieves. This is before friendlier seas and stuff like that, right? And then I would watch Summit, and Summit would constantly go after everybody. Very entertaining. That's how he got a lot of his channel views and stuff like that. It was fantastic, right?
Yep.
Then he would find out
kill the innocent. Awesome.
Yeah. Then he would find out where the servers that people were in, and he would get into that server and then pretend he was friendly and then fucking murder everybody in the server, right? And they were like, "Get our server." And they were like, that's basically what's happening here. But what's happening here is it's embedded in the actual the way you play the game, right? So in one hand, it's taking people that if you shoot people, it's going to put you with more shooting people, right? It's because you're getting what you want. You want to get PvP, so you're getting PvP. These people are like, I just want to do the PvE elements. So they're shooting the PvE and not shooting the actual people, and they get put in their own lobby.
Right. And my point is that gaming is a window into society, regardless of what you want to say, good, bad, or indifferent. And if you keep training people to think that they can have it their way all the time without any adversary at an early age, and you grow up thinking you can play anything you want, doing it any play style that you want with no adversity, when you're put into the real world with no practice of any adversary, those people crumble like a house of cards into a fetal position and have to go to fucking therapy for the rest of their fucking lives.
Very true.
No pushback, right? So bravo for the AI to make everybody happy. But lo and behold, when Timmy graduates, no marriage, no girlfriend, can't fix a car, has to work as a janitor, can't get promoted, like because hey, I can't go outside the box, otherwise I might get in trouble. Like that's not how life works, bro. It's not how life works. Well-rounded people are beat on. They're beat on when they're young, and when they get older,
it makes you who you are.
You can survive life, right? If we're gonna raise people like this with AI kowtowing for them, I'll make sure you have a pillow. Wait, you're playing a murder game. We're gonna give you a pillow so you can sleep inside the murder room, so you don't get murdered. As long as you have the comfy pillow, you don't get murdered. Like, yeah, we could do this for as long as you think it's gonna work. And then it's not gonna work, bro. It's not gonna work. You are psychologically damaging people because you think that you're gonna make everything perfect for everybody. It does not work this way. It just doesn't. Go buy the game that does the PV elements for you. Don't buy the game where psychopathic murderers want to kill everybody in the thing, and they're on stream saying it. I'm going to go in and try to get 12 this time. I'm going to go and try to get 12. I got the best gear. I'm going for 12. I'm going for the dirty dozen, right? And I'm going to go in and try to get them. Meanwhile, he spends all week not shooting, and every week he's on stream going like this. I can't wait anymore. It's been 10 days. I can't get
10 days since I shot somebody.
I can't wait till I get to the server. And as soon as he goes to the server, he's going around murking everybody, right?
And then he goes back to the regular.
This is not healthy psychological behavior. You're supposed to have fun with the video game, not be manipulated into a corner and then try to find your way out again. Like that.
Yeah, but wouldn't the people? But you just said that you're supposed to have fun with the video game, but the people that are PvEing, aren't they having fun with the video game?
I don't know. Are they?
I mean, they are because they're not being bothered by the people that are doing PvP.
Oh, well, as long as they're not being bothered, have a good time.
Do you see what I'm saying, though?
You see what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but you're saying that they're supposed to have fun. They're not having fun because they're being. You're
not looking at it because you passed the point of the learning phase of what I'm speaking about. I'm talking about the kids that are growing up that don't understand the concepts. You already understand the concepts. You've already been through the ringer. You've been hired, fired, multiple jobs, right? Thanks. You have done life stuff. So what I'm talking about is cushioning everyone that doesn't understand reality.
Oh, I agree with you there.
Trying to using AI to put them in a comfort zone their entire childhood. And then when they go into reality, right? The whole purpose of childhood is to have micro tests of reality as you grow up. Left alone, friend digs you, a girl likes you. Like all these little things that happen to you when you're a kid are as the smaller version of the larger thing that happens to you in life. If you keep curtailing all those little moments of how people socially, how we behave, and then put that person into reality, he's gonna crack. He's gonna fucking crack.
Right.
You don't care. I don't care because we're past it now.
I'm looking at though from the developer's point of view, as far as the reason they do this is because they want to cast the widest net possible, right? And the only way, because we're talking about live service games, the only way they keep people in their game longer is to cater to these people. So they're not admitting to doing this, but they say it's part of the actual thing. So if they can balance both and have the PvEers play PvE without putting a PvE only map in there, and they're having the PvPers have the PvP and stuff, and they're all doing what's it called, the project or whatever it is, and the trials, and they keep logging in every single day to do their things. From the business standpoint, it's a win. From a society standpoint, it's a fucking loss, right? Which I understand what you're saying.
But they're blinded to what they are doing. Blindly do you make programs that manipulate people in the name of convenience and to make money. The long-term detriment of doing this to people over and over again. We already see the problems with too much screen time, right? Now we're going to make it AI in charge of screen time, and they're going to do it better. AI is going to find out what you like even better, right? I don't like being manipulated. Right? I don't like getting ads because I said something on my phone and I try to disconnect as much stuff as possible, and I get ads for something I mentioned for the next 2 weeks. I don't like being manipulated. No. I dislike it. Right? I have the right to play whatever I want. No problem. I have the right to say yes or no. When you put it in front of me without telling me and you're manipulating me the entire time, that's a different story.
Right. So you would be
for the benefit of me.
Yeah. So you would be okay if they had a choice of go in PvE, go in PvP. But what this is doing, it's just doing something without telling you it's doing it
in the name of the goodness,
in the name of the thing. So let's go from that to another story with Arc Raiders, because eBay, some Arc Raider players are skipping the grind and just buying blueprints on eBay.
But I thought you guys liked playing. I thought you guys liked going in and running around during the PvE stuff and trying to find the goods, right? You're in PvP, your safe little server, and now you're like, take it too long, gonna go buy it online.
I think this would be more of the PvP guys than the PvE.
That's the t-shirt. That's the next t-shirt. More money than time.
It says Arc Raiders listing on eBay show that many players are reselling valuable in-game items, and interesting part is that they seem to have plenty of buyers. Developer Embark Studios' Arc Raiders is one of the most played games in 2025 and recently the best multiplayer game award. Okay, one of the most sought after, hardest and find items in Arc Raiders is blueprints. Okay, which I think there's still a fundamental problem with the expedition.
The thing that makes you go back to play it again, we got to get rid of this part.
Yeah, the expedition that they have in the game makes you reset your character to get the blueprints, but people are like, yeah, I want to reset to get the 5 points or whatever and the extra space, but they also want the blueprints that they just got rid of, so they're going to go to eBay, right?
Gamers gonna game.
There's over 70 of them, all available for free in random topside locations. However, drop rates have been so low that for many players, they also are still missing out on blueprints. Even after spending hundreds of hours looting the boxes and crates, seeing the opportunity of some players are now reselling their hard-earned blueprints online, effectively bringing real-world trading into Embark Studios' popular extraction shooter. Okay, so this... Oh my God, is that real? Arc Raiders item, blueprint and materials, fast digital delivery, US $90. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Okay, we got another one.
Do you actually believe the drop rate's low? Because here's how I know it's already modified. If 100 people are playing, and everybody says they can't get the blueprint they want, it's just not it's not the same blueprint. They just can't get the blueprint that they're looking for, right? So that means the blueprint drops for the other people, just not for you. So that means that across the board, certain people are getting certain drops and certain people aren't. The reason why we know, because this market can actually exist. So if I get Big Bazooka Gun and I get that like 3 or 4 times a month, and I never get the Super Flame Pistol, right? I never find that one, right? So I got to go on and I got to trade the Super Bazooka for the Flame Pistol, right? Because they keep getting the Flame Pistol and I keep getting the Bazooka. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That being, if a game does that, that means it's already pre-programmed to do that. Otherwise, this would not exist. You would still get drops. You would get drops, but people don't get the drops that they want. So they go here because somebody has the drop that they want.
See, this is crazy to me because if you paid, I don't know, $400 for this blueprint,
you got more money than time.
Yeah, I know, but you have the blueprint. Now you can make the gun or the weapon or the grenade. But the fact is you only have it for 8 weeks if you're going to do the reset, right? So a person that's buying this is no way in hell they're resetting their character, right?
More money than time, kid.
Right.
More money than time.
So I just thought this was pretty funny, right? So it says the quick search for the games.
$90 for a blueprint for a gun inside the game is to me hilarious.
Yeah, eBay pulls over 1,000 results, most of them offering valuable Arc Raider blueprints of hard-earned coins. Prices range from 99 cents to $400, more depending on the item rarity or order size. The highly sought-after Bobcat blueprint, for example, to sell around $90, with the more common blueprint of the Wolfpack typically goes for under $10. Some sellers are also offering crafting materials in bulk with bundles that include gun parts, power cells, assorted seeds, and more. You know what I just thought of? Everyone's worried about AI taking jobs away from people, and yet here we have people making their own jobs where, what do you do for a living? I play Arc Raiders, I grind to get gear, and then I sell it for fucking massive cash.
Gamers
are gonna game. Yeah, gamers are gonna game.
Gonna game.
Right? The worst part about this in any game, and all games do this, right? There's a black market, people selling stuff, but it's always dodgy as hell. You know what I mean? Like, because you're paying for this, then you're meeting them inside the game, and then they drop.
Yeah, let me ask you a question about that. Let me ask you a question.
They drop it in the thing.
In a game where you don't know whether or not I got to shoot this guy in the face or not because you don't know if he's trying to steal from you, right? That's the whole tenseness of this whole game, right? I don't know if
you would join them. You would join them. You would join them in a group, and then you go in the game together.
Hang on, right? But in a game centered around that, you're going to go online, make a friend with a stranger, have him come in the game with you, and you guys are going to exchange on equal ground. Like it's some kind of Wild West movie. Like,
right.
It's fucking twisted, bro. It's fucking twisted.
Yeah. Yeah, they do it in all the games. I always find it dodgy as hell, though, because you're like, you go into the game and you drop it, and you're like, you paid the money. Are they going to drop it?
Are they going to drop it?
Right. Are they going to drop it? Because it's not like you go.
There's no better business
Mom,
rule here.
This guy just stole my. Right. You paid $100, $400. You'd be like, this dude robbed me, and you're like,
what are you going to do about it?
Who am I going to complain to?
What are you going to do about it?
You're an idiot.
You're going to go to the in-game cop? Is he going to do anything?
Right. You got to get my money back.
So ridiculous, bro.
So there you go. There is Arc Raiders news for today. Okay.
$400 for a blueprint.
All right, let's talk about Game Awards, right? Game Awards last week.
Is that why your girlfriend didn't get a real Christmas present? Because you bought a $400 blueprint from Arc Raiders?
Yeah, $400 blueprint.
That's what it sounds like to me. You got your girlfriend a gift card or some shit, and you bought a $400 blueprint from Arc Raiders?
Where did our money go? I had to get the Bobcat. A Bobcat? Yeah, the blueprint inside of Arc Raiders, the game I've been playing this entire time. Don't you listen when I speak? I can't even right now. I can't even, right?
That's the guy version. That's the guy version of that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go play my game. All right. All right. The Game Awards last week, which if you guys haven't watched it, you probably have or you don't give a shit, but we had a bunch of guests on last week. We had Greg Owen, the real life fake wizard, and we also had the Kingard on last week joining us while we watched the Game Awards. But Jeff Keighley did it again. 171 million global live streams, the most watched in the Game Awards history. Okay, viewership is up 11% year over year. 171 global live streams of the full show. Conversations on X up to 12% year over year. 23,000 co-streams on Twitch and YouTube, 50% year over year. This is bigger than the Super Bowl.
Let me ask you a question now. Is gaming now? Is it only for nerds? Is it for people who can't grow up? I'm curious. I'm curious where it stands now. The numbers have beaten the Super Bowl. So what's the line now? What do you say to people like this that watch video game shit? Are we immature? Are we nerds? What is it now? Now that we've beaten Super Bowl, does everyone just shut the fuck up now? Is that where we are? When you beat the Super Bowl, does credibility finally trickle in and everyone goes, "Oh, that's pretty good." Right.
And remember,
or do you turn into the gaming media and try to blackball everyone like they did Claire Obscure and Larian?
Well, right. So it goes into 171 million people watch Expedition 33 win. Okay. At the end, before we talk about Claire Obscure and stuff, at the end they showed Highguard. Okay. Highguard was this game that they said for the people that made Titanfall, the people that made Apex Legends, and they're like, "Oh my god, are they bringing Titanfall 3?" And they're like, "No, we're bringing Highguard," and you're like, what is this, right? So the internet's not convinced it should care about another PvP hero shooter. Collective eye roll plunges big Game Awards finale reveal into YouTube dislike hole. Okay, so Sometimes our last reveal of the Game Awards, a teaser is something years and years away, but not tonight. Keighley pronounced the dramatic purpose. Our final world premiere comes from 61 members of a team that built Apex Legends and Titanfall 4 years ago, and the principal founded the new independent studio with hopes of pushing the shooter genre forward with a new original game. They've done it completely in secrecy, and they're also even more amazing because the game is very deep into development. Okay, so much in development that it's coming out in January, right? The power of independent and self-published studios push the medium forward is a growing, and I think the positive theme in the industry. And so tonight, you're not going to see the announcement of a game, but also the first look of the gameplay. And they showed this gameplay, and everyone was like, it looks like Concord. And then I watched the video today of Legendary Drops talking about this specific story, okay? And he took the footage of Highguard and edited it with Concord, okay? And it was switching back and forth between the two games for the first couple of minutes of his video.
Yep.
And you couldn't tell what game was what.
And that's a good sign. That means the developers did the right thing, because they try to copy pasta something and they copy pasted it exactly, bro. That's a bonus. You didn't know that? You get extra bonus at Christmas time if you copy a game and do exactly what they did. That's like the number one. That's like a pat on the back. What are you talking about?
He showed this one scene where the ice giant like comes down and slams. Then he cut to Concord about the exact same camera angle and everything. The guy comes down and slams. I was just like, oh my goodness. Right. So now people are saying like, oh, this is not Concord. And I said it today when we were watching Legendary Drops video. I said, we're not saying it's Concord. We're saying it's the same as Concord, meaning it's not the exact same as Concord, but it's going to suffer the same consequences as Concord. Sort of like we say No Man's Sky moment, right? This is a Concord. Now, obviously, I don't want to say never, but can a game come out and fail as hard as Concord did, which was 13 days?
Well, that's the new comparison now. That's the new comparison.
It was scrubbed completely from existence.
But that's the bar. The bar for worst game ever is: are you out for 13 days and fail, and you're completely erased from the internet completely? If you can beat 13 days and get erased, like if it's 10 days and erased from the internet completely, you're the new winner.
Right.
And we won't talk about Concord anymore. We'll talk about your game. Because you set the mark. It's the same shit.
And here's the thing. This game is a free-to-play game, right? It's a free-to-play game. It comes out mid-January. And they're like, no one's interested in it. If you're interested in a game like this, by all means, enjoy and support the game, right? But if people don't enjoy, which is the majority, probably won't play this game, okay? Because it doesn't look appealing. When you look at it, you're like, nah, I'm good. Remember, this is another live service game coming into a world of live service games, okay, where you got to check in daily. You got to check in weekly. There's going to be a battle pass and a season pass and skins and all this other stuff. And it's like, why would I leave this game? Let's just say it's Marvel Rivals or Overwatch, even though one was paid, one was free. Okay. Why would I leave that where I have to come back every day, every week, microtransactions, pay $15, $20, $25 for cool skins to come to this? To what's the backstory? What's the story? What's the thing that's keeping me coming?
You ride mounts,
right?
Obviously,
it looks cool.
You ride mounts,
right? This guy says Highguard looks like a game that started development when hero shooters were the hottest thing around. Yeah. Interesting. Our new digital mech fantasy Overwatch team-based frustrated Highguard. Okay, it says Highguard gives me Concord vibes of I think this game won't last a month. I mean, maybe it will.
But here's the outside pitch. Okay, the outside pitch is this: it doesn't matter what we say, right? It never does. If you're gonna play this game, you're gonna play it. If you like this game, you're gonna like it. And nowhere in the media has someone told you should not play this game, and if you liked it, you don't play it. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna play the game that you like. So if you like hero shooters and you think you're gonna try it, you're gonna try it. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But the fact that I get to say what I want, you get to say what you want,
right?
Everybody else gets to say what they want about a game that we just saw come out that looks exactly the fucking same. And if we decide to say this looks like a piece of shit like that game does,
exactly,
we don't get ridiculed because of that. You made the fucking game the same. You know how I know? He put it side by side. You couldn't tell the difference, right? That's how we know.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
How does someone who plays video games for a living on stream not recognize that this shit's going on, right? And then says, you guys are too hard on it. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Do I need to wait for everything to come out before I make my official decision, right? Does everyone do that? When someone hires you, do they listen to your entire sob story of why you were late and why you're dressed that way and why and all the
they've
things
heard
that
it
are-
all before.
like all the things that are red flags why we don't want to hire you, but you're going to tell them why you're the best employee, you should be hired. And after all the red flags I see, I'm not looking at you anymore. Same fucking list. Same. I'm looking at the same list I saw at Concord. I'm not interested. Have a nice day.
Kingard says, give Highguard a chance. Jeff Keighley said he played it, and it was good. What's up, Kingard? Right?
Tired to listen to these fucking people.
I just think it's funny that I have a video on this. Criticism is hate, right? Everyone just lumps in
Not hate,
criticism.
it's criticism.
Right? Criticism is what brings games back to life. Criticism is what makes people change and why you get patch notes, okay? Right? That's what criticism is. Criticism is this gun's broke, and they go, we hear you, we're fixing the gun, right? We hear you, this game's buggy and broke, they fix it. That's what criticism does. When you don't like a game now, you're racist, you're sexist, you're misogynistic, right? You're not giving a game a chance. No, it looks like crap. Why would I give my money to that game? I wouldn't. Wait, I know someone's going to say it's free to play. Why would I give my time to that? Okay?
I'm not making anything up. I'm basing my opinion off of the facts that I see. You showed me what it looks like. I'm basing my opinion on that. Well, you haven't tried it yet. Okay. Here's how this works, right? I'm alive long enough to know what the beginning of video games are, right? I have played every fucking platformer on the planet. If I see another platformer, 9 times out of 10, I don't care if it's the best goddamn platformer I have ever seen. Do you think I'm interested in a fucking platformer at this point in my time? Right? No, but it could be the greatest thing ever. I know platformers. I know what they do.
Right.
I know
Does
what
it
kind of
interest
levels they
me?
make. I played enough of them to know what it is. If you're going to do something different that makes me more aggravated to play a platformer, probably not going to play it even worse. You can't make Elder Ring platformer because I'm definitely not going to play that. Like Super Meat Boy to me is like Elden Ring platformer. Right?
Oh, yeah. I would play the controller with Super Meat Boy.
You play it for a little while, then you're like, I want to throw something because this is ridiculous. Yeah. Same concept. I've seen it. I looked at what you did. Is there a hook in there? And if there was a hook, you didn't show it. So that says to me that you don't know what you're doing. Because if you did know, your highest achievement to get that slot in the gaming awards, where's the fucking hook? Right? 171 million people saw you, and there's no hook. And you want me to be like walking around going, hey, you know what? I bet they got a hook. Like, let's hope there's a deep dive somewhere between December 31st and January 22nd that's going to smooth out all of it.
Did you see the part of Legendary Drop where Fran Mirabella, who was with IGN, I've met him a couple times. We had him on the show, not this show, but the other podcast that we were on. He said that nobody played Concord to compare this to Concord, and nobody played Concord. Less than 25,000 people played Concord.
25,000 people played Concord.
Right? And then he said, I played Concord. Like, it was a flex. I'm like, the fuck does that mean? What, you're the only person because of 25,000 people? You were one of the people that said, so you're the only person that can compare Concord to other games? Get the fuck out of here. Like, what are we talking about? I was just like, what a pretentious statement that was, right? I played it. So
blinders, right? Blinders. If in the old days, someone that you actually would trust would be like one of the old time game journalists who's a gamer, who plays games and writes about them, right? It's like a Siskel and Ebert of gamer, right? He plays the game and then writes an article about the game, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What do you think that's based off of? Do you think it's based off his refrigerator coolant experience? Do you think it's based off his car salesmanship experience? Or is it based on the fact that since he was 12, he's been playing video games? And when he graduated college, because he wanted to be a journalist, he got a job at a magazine called Game Pro, or whatever game name was on the damn title of the book or the magazine, and wants to work for that because that's what he loves to do. So you would take his opinion as pretty much standard. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. I got to listen to guys that can't play, don't want to do a boss fight, don't have time.
Right.
They give me every excuse
Can't get past the tutorial.
Can't pass the tutorial. Like, I'm supposed to listen to you, and I'm supposed to base my judgment on it. Explain to me the difference. If I've been playing games since I was 5, I can pretty much tell you game good or bad. Now, I might be wrong on occasion, right? And when I say good or bad, it doesn't mean like it's in the toilet after 10 days or it sells 70 million copies. What I'm talking about is it lives and then it dies way before its time. Like a hot girl on prom night. She's hot, and then for some reason something happened, car accident, and she don't make it, right? Same shit. Sometimes shit happens. It just happens. Your game might make it. Your game might not.
That went dark quick.
Do I decide that? Do I decide that? No. But the people who play games decide that. You want to know why? Because there's another 1,700 games coming out in 2 weeks that will take your attention away from that game. So tell me why I have to be in your game. If your game is a copy pasta model of every other game that came out in the last 8 years, then why the hell do I want to be there, right? If I sneeze and decide not to play it and I miss it, do I cry about it? Ah, bro, I can't believe I missed the game, right? Number one, there's a replacement. There's like 6 replacements for the game I missed.
Right, it's a tissue.
Here's the best thing, right? And here's the best thing. If I care enough about it that I missed it, then it'll be on sale in 3 months. Right, and I could just buy it then.
Well, here you go. The next story is Steam sees over 19,000 game releases this year, right? Last year was 18,000. I forget, it was 18,000. They say it here. 18,559, right? 18,559 games last year in Steam. And now we have 19,112. Okay.
Well, let's make it easier. Get rid of 2/3 of that.
Yeah.
Get rid of 2/3 is fine. Get rid of 12,000 of them. Pretend they didn't exist.
The average gamer plays 3 to 4 games.
That's still 6,000 games. 6,000. If I get rid of 2/3 of them, that's just stuff you don't give a shit about, right? Somebody's playing them. Otherwise, they wouldn't release it, right? Somebody's giving $5, $10. There's somebody in the world on their phone or somewhere giving these guys money. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. Why would there be more games this year? How do you go from 17,000 to 18,000 to 19,000 games when no one's playing them? Apparently, people are playing games. They're just not playing the shitty ones, right? The ones that suck up your time and decide that you don't want to play this anymore. You racist bastard, right? It's your fault the game failed, right? Do I have to hear this shit every other week? No, bro. Make a game. Sell a game, right? Well, want me to apologize? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Marathon. We're going to come out. We're going to give you a nice pillow to use, and then we're going to see how well you do. We're going to give you the once around, baby. We're going to promote you and walk you around and make little stuffed animals of your crew cut fucking characters that no one gives a shit about, and we're going to push you hard into a bunch of everybody's faces. We're going to tell Timmy and Bobby and Molly and Sarah about your awesome game, and then after 3 days, everyone goes, seen it, done it, next. And they go play another fucking game. You're going to wonder why. Why doesn't anyone like our game?
So here's some stats numbers, right, on this, where it says Steam Tracker reveals that almost half of the games launched this year, 7,098 to be exact, so far, had fewer than 10 reviews, okay? It shows that we're either slop entries or failed to catch enough recognition to be successful, right? So there you go, Sarge. 7,000 games of the 19,000 games are there. About 2,200 of the overall titles have 0 reviews, while 5,200 have fewer than 50 reviews. As the pattern suggests, the number of games significantly drops as the number of the user reviews increases in statistics. Compared to last year, the increase of number entries with fewer than 10 reviews and a decrease in the number of games with over 100 reviews this year. The similar worrying trends in gaming with over 500 reviews. Okay, so while a new record of the number of game releases is a great achievement for Steam, the pattern for more games having fewer reviews is concerning for future developments and the store. Look, you gotta. Oh, and by the way, on a side note, Steam generated over $16.2 billion.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
You would have to take 1 day a week, right? 1 day a week, probably about 3 hours, and scroll to see what you might like. Right? It would take you hours to figure this shit out.
19,000 games. That's like 54 games a day.
But do you know how
every day for 24 hours just to?
But do you know why these games survive? It's pretty easy, right? Because even though we're all gamers, everybody has their own little thing. You like what you like. I like what I like, right? And so everybody's looking for what they like. So when they find the little gem in the corner, that's game number 8,942 that nobody gives a shit about, right? And you play it and you go, wow, man, this is a good game. I'm going to tell a friend, right? And you tell a friend and he tells a friend and everybody else tells a friend. And then you find out it's multiplayer. And now we're all playing it every Friday night for the next couple months. And then it goes away like everything else. But we're the ones who advertise the games when there's that many games. Otherwise, there wouldn't be this many, right? Do you actually believe that it's the sole purpose of the games media to advertise these games, and that's why you found out about it? There's no fucking chance, bro. No fucking chance that 7,000 games were identified by the media and spread around so we could find them. No shot.
Right.
No shot. So, once again, bottom line is gamers about games, right? We're the ones that advertise for it. And lo and behold, because we play a lot of games, we might recognize something every once in a while. I'm like, it's a good game. How do you know? Played a lot of them before.
Right. Because I played every strategy game, or I played every game.
If you were just born yesterday, literally, and they put a controller in your hand, you'd play anything if you had the motor skills to play it. But if someone told you, all your friends are like, don't play that, it's garbage. And you're like, but I kind of like it. All right, then go ahead and play it. Right? And then after a couple of days, you're like, you know what? Wasn't that good? I know. But you want to know why you didn't know that? Because you never played a shitty game before. And that's why we had to let you play the shitty game. Because when you know about a shitty game, you know not to play them anymore. That's how that works. I have played a list of shitty games that would make most of you cry.
About 19,000 of them. Yeah, about 19,000.
Because I was born during the beginning of gaming, where we had a game market crash, and then Nintendo came out, and then another crash because they released a bunch of crappy games, right? We lived at Blockbuster renting games, and we played a lot of shitty games. So when you copy pasta something over and over again, it doesn't matter if you got fucking the Terminator, Luke Skywalker, or what's her name, Bayonetta on the cover of the goddamn box. We know that if I put that cartridge or disc or download into my goddamn machine, I know it's going to suck because I've seen it. Right. That's called experience. I don't give a shit what you think.
Well, speaking of experience, right? I had a talk about this morning about this gentleman right here.
This fucking guy.
Right. So James Olin, right, is stepping down from Archetype Entertainment. Okay. It says, quote, at this stage, James felt, this quote's not even from James himself. This is from the vice president.
He has not spoken about himself.
Yeah. Right. The VP, Abby Hodis, is the one that's quoting this. Okay. It says, at the stage, James felt his work at the games was complete and the polishing of tuning here is great hands with the team, said Hasbro VP Abby Hodis. Right. Now, speaking of experience, Sarge, games in the past where developers, leads of the company, founders of the company, co-founders of the company, leads, directors, whatever it is, every time
leading the project.
Right. The ones leading the project, who started the project, who were there from the start, that had the passion, and this is why they built the thing in the first place. When they leave, there's always an issue, majority of the time, okay? And people that don't have experience seeing this or talking about this or knowing this don't look at this. They just look and go, oh, well, James left because he wanted to make tabletop gaming now. And you're like, cool. But as a person, Exodus is the game that he's created, what you saw at the Game Awards, which looks like Mass Effect, okay? The thing here is that he's leaving. He's the lead founder, okay? And he's focusing now on tabletop role-playing games and would stay on the creative consulting for the company. Now, obviously, we know, me and you know, that this is corporate speak for...
I need a break.
James doesn't agree what's happening with this game.
I need a break.
Something's happening with this game, and he's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to go do something else because this is not going to, nothing can save this game, right?
That's exactly correct.
So then Abby comes out and says, well, at this stage, James felt his work in the game was complete, that the polishing and tuning were in great hands. Meaning James has no credit, he has no interest, and he's like, yeah, I don't give a shit what happens to this game. It's going to be bad. I'm separating myself. You guys can call me if you need me for any kind of consulting for the company, but I have no interest in this game anymore.
If he was like leader of the music division and they were finished with the music and he's moving on, understandable. If he was storytelling portion of it, lead for storytelling, and the story part of it's done and they don't need him anymore and he moves on, that's also fine.
Yeah.
You're the lead of the damn project. You are the lead of the entire thing. You don't leave and say, they got it now. They're going to polish it. Everything's
in good hands.
Fine. Like, what that means is there is a conflict of interest between the lead that you put into position to lead the game and what the corporation wants done and what the artist wants done. That's what that is. And if they walk away, especially when they walk away to do something completely different, not even another game, he's going to a tabletop thing. That's a screaming cry for, I need a timeout. I can't do this anymore.
I'm done with
I need a
this.
break. I'm done with this. I need a break. And that's what it is. Once again, everybody can jump on the bandwagon and how this game's going to be amazing. It's going to be just like Mass Effect. But
it could
add up the red flags before you pre-order. Add them all up.
That's all I'm saying. Right.
That's all. That's
From
it.
all the other games that had, Krebsy's saying it, 90% of the time, 90% of the lead of a project leaves something either going wrong or about to go wrong. That's exactly
correct.
right.
That is correct.
This is perfect because what Sarge said earlier, the reason he knows a shitty game's a shitty game is because he's played plenty of shitty games. So he sees the telltale signs of, hey, this doesn't look right. This might be a shitty game, right? So here we are, where another lead's leaving a company, and you're like, Exodus looks good. Looks like Mass Effect. Hold up. Red flags. Something's going on here. Something doesn't seem right. Because in the article from Bloomberg, right, Jason Schreier writes that it's been delayed 2 times. Now, people are like, well, they never announced the actual date. Internally, it's been delayed 2 times. Red flag number 2, right? Well, actually, it should be number 1. Delayed a couple times. Red flag number 1. Lead, now leaving to go do something else completely different. Flag number 2, right? No release date. Flag number 3, because they probably have so much problems with this game in the background. Hence why when they put it out the Game Awards, you looked at it and went, just kind of looks like Mass Effect. They're marketing it like Mass Effect, and they got to get it out before Mass Effect comes out with their next Mass Effect. And BioWare's a completely another travesty that's happening over here, okay? Because I guarantee you 2 years from now, we're going to have the same exact conversation. Be like, well, another person left the thing. That's what happened to Anthem. That's what happened to Andromeda, right? It's just going to be another lead leaving, and you're like, well, that game sucks too now.
This is not a new thing. Leads leaving, not a new thing. And every time something left, there was a problem. What I find interesting is no matter how many telltale signs, you should look before you jump. There could be a sign, there could be a barricade, there could be a fence, and everyone's like, I gotta jump, right? And you don't take the time to just look and listen, and then afterwards you say, I can't believe that game sucked. Can you believe that game sucked?
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Who could have
I
known?
can believe it.
Who could have known?
Who could have known?
Who could have seen this happening?
It's so random. A game could come out, good or bad. Nobody knows, right? You're too negative, Sarge, right? You hate every game. No, I don't hate every game. You want to know why? Because I haven't seen the 18,000 games that are out. How can I possibly have the time to hate them all? Right? The ones I hate, I do research on and look at it and go, I fucking hate this game. Look at it.
Let me clean my schedule. I got 19,000 games to hate.
I have to change my religion to Buddhist, right? In order to come back, reincarnate to do all the game reviews that I need to do to keep track of all this shit. Otherwise, I'm not making it.
All right, Aku says, who could have known that Mind's Eye wouldn't be game of the year? Yeah. Who could have? We call it the smell test, right? The smell test, right? You're like,
you know what the worst part about it is now? Here's the worst part, bro. The worst part is that the ones who are, and I'm have to specify this now, not the talented ones, because the talented ones work hard because they're passionate about what they do. I'm going to be talking about the ones who know how to get by. Those people, the ones who know how to cheat on the test and you look good to the teacher, but you don't know shit about the subject. AI is going to make it so much easier for them to make cutscenes and vid docs and shows to publicize their game in the best light possible, and they don't know dick, right? And everyone's going to look at those examples and like, oh, this looks amazing. This looks incredible. Why? Because we're all of us now are not used to looking at AI to tell if it's good, better, and different. You just have some guy just throwing shit on the screen to make it look cool, right? Then you're going to buy it. Then they're going to have it to where you can't return it, or whatever reasons they put in that you can't return it at a specific time. And they're going to put these little roadblocks in your way. And you think that you can just buy whatever shitty game you want and then return it, right? And that's not going to be the case, because these guys have worked too hard to show you the best thing in the best light, their game in the best light. And now, after it comes out and you get dicked over, doesn't matter. I collected my money. We did our job, right? My job was to get you to buy the game. I made
minimal viable
an AI
product, make it look like it's right.
I made an AI product that looks amazing, that you want to buy the game. Meanwhile, because the people want to jump so bad and don't want to read signs or look at fences or nothing, they're going to buy it anyway, right? And we get to keep these people around for a sequel, right? Instead of letting these fuckers die on the vine. Before you even pick the fruit, let it go, right? The only way this gets better is to let these guys go. Let them go, right? Let them divide. Let the guys who want to be a video game developer, who actually care, find the other guys who care, as opposed to the guys that are just trying to pump out this corpo slop that you guys keep buying, right?
If you look
I want the games.
If you look at Expedition 33, right, we found out that $10 million to make the
game.
$10 million to make the game.
10. That blows them up, bro.
It won 9 of 11 awards. People are losing their mind because Expedition 33, they're like, it shouldn't be allowed to win that many awards. It should be cut off. If it wins this, it shouldn't be able to win that. It's like, what are you talking about? Like I don't understand. Like, and this is my whole argument leading up to this conversation when I said, if the game wins best RPG, okay, and the other category of RPGs are in the same category as Game of the Year, guess what? None of those games that were best in the category of best RPG, if this one won best RPG, this is going to win over here. It's not going to happen. Okay. If you win more categories, obviously you should win the best game of the year. If I win 9 and you win 6, well, this is a better game because it won 3 more awards than you, right?
Not according to the guy who yells at the farmer who's never farmed in his life. Not that guy. Right. The guy who's upset about the farmer who's never seen a cow before gets to dictate how the farmer should do his job.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing here.
That's exactly right.
That's what we're doing here.
Here's another problem, right? They're like, this game shouldn't win, and the industry is losing their mind because they're like, no, games have to cost $350 million. They have to cost $600 million. They have to be quadruple A studios, and they have to make all this. We have to charge $80, Sarge. We just can't make it.
Meanwhile,
$10 million. $10 million.
Narrative blown.
Sweeps the video game awards. $50. Okay. Free DLC comes out when they win. They're like, hey, by the way, we have DLC. It's out now. You can go download it. The narrative is completely gone.
Completely destroyed.
Completely destroyed.
Right? And that's why all media hands on deck to attack Clear Obscure and Larian.
Oh, 60 people, right? 50 or 60 people made the game, by the way.
The AAA
obviously they had help with other studios, but their studio is 50, 60 people.
The AAA industry has become bloated. No finance directors. They think that more money thrown at the problem is going to fix it, and then they want to know why they can't make money. This blows the hole in the narrative. This is like the Titanic here, right? 2 games now.
Expedition 3 is the iceberg. Right? Is the iceberg.
2 games now who have small studios showed what talented people can do. When you have talented people in your studio who are passionate about the game, this is what you get. If you have somebody being barked at, right, for 72 hours a week about making a game that's exactly like that game over there because they made $1 billion, we want that game, then you don't get it. You don't get it. And once again, do you want 19,000 games to worry about? we could bring that number way down. We could bring it down to like 6,000 or 8,000 easy, and just take out the slop. We should have a single man and an under 12 studio like category for all these guys that are up and coming, looking to get jobs. I have no problem with that. But the rest of these guys who've been trying to mosey in on the gaming industry and try to pump out any kind of corpo slop they want in order to get ahead, they got to go, man. They got to go. I don't want a sequel to a shitty game because you guys said it. It wasn't that bad. It was dog shit. It was dog shit, right? And dog shit gets to have a second coming. You can't buy dog shit. You have to let that die. You have to make it so uncomfortable for the guys who are the guys that are trying to do $100 million games, $250 million games. You have to make it so uncomfortable for them to even attempt it that they leave. They say, we can't do this. I can't get my fourth yacht, right? I can't keep doing this. They got to go. They got to go. Right, the entire industry made it for 25 years on the blood, sweat, and tears of people who gave a shit about the industry. And now, because the suits decided to come visit, because now they heard money fall on the ground and they wanted a piece of it, right? This is what we're left with, right? And now we have to contend with chip shortages, right? Chip shortages, right? Guys, the only thing chip shortages do is push you towards subscription. That's it.
Make the problem, sell the solution.
That's all chip shortages do is
Make the problem, sell the solution.
Subscription services. So if you don't think it's planned, you're dreaming. You're dreaming.
I mean, I'm sitting pretty because I made a prediction about cloud gaming. I said within 5 or 6 to 7 years, it will be the number one thing. It'll be the majority, is what I said. And now because of the hardware going up in price, and the GPUs and the RAM going up in price and
everything.
Yeah, everything. Well, let's go to that. The next thing. NVIDIA is reportedly looking to cut gaming GPU production by up to 40% in 2026 due to VRAM supply issues. But it's not as bad news as you might think.
What do you mean it's not as bad news?
At least.
40%?
Okay, it says it might feel like the tech news has struck a record at the moment, but every other headline reporting on the grim effects of the current DRAM supply crisis at first glance reports that NVIDIA is planning to cut discrete GPU production by up to 40%. Just seems like a case in point. However, while it's all RAM related, it's not necessarily all a bad thing. The claim in question has posted that the Chinese board channels said basically claims that NVIDIA is set to reduce the supply of gaming GPUs between 30% and 40% in the first half of 2026 compared to the volume output during the same period in 2025. That's not surprising, given that the DRAM supply problems affecting the entire computer industry results in fewer desktops and laptop PCs being shipped next year. Given just how many of them typically support the NVIDIA discrete GPU either onto a motherboard or form of third-party graphics card demand, a RTX Blackwell chips is obviously going to plummet. However, there's not exactly a huge shortage of GeForce RTX 50 series cards at the moment, with the exceptions of the sensible priced at RTX 5080s and 5090 models. Okay, the retailer's listing, you also see endless supplies of RTX. Yeah, but they're going to raise those prices, right? They're going to raise those prices because they know a shortage is coming.
And the scalpers are going to start buying up cards. That's how this works.
Right? It says
works.
There's another factor considered all of this, which is covered in the report. NVIDIA has expected the RTX 50 series variants. The general assumption for these cards is based on the numerous leaks and rumors that they have cropped up throughout the 2025, and they will have 3 gigabytes of GDDR7 modules instead, standard 2 gigabyte ones. Okay, so the RTX laptops already use this, which is why they sport 24 gigs of VRAM, and they thought the GPU inside has only the 256-bit memory bus. So, with this shortage, right, and there's also one more story on this. Let me find it.
But when there's a hole, this is how it normally works. When there's a hole inside the economic roadside of where these chips come from, it leaves opportunity for somebody else to come along and say, hey, this area of the industry is not being serviced. We should open up our own factory and service this opportunity. It always happens. Now, of course, the people that do this kind of thing are far and few between, because you need to have some serious capital in order to make chips in a sterile factory in order to sell to the market. It's not like you can just open up a store like you're opening up an ice cream cart on the weekends, right?
Right.
So if this goes on and the bubble still holds, because the AI bubble's on shaky ground as it is, because of all the investment they keep putting into it, but if another company decides that they want to come in here and start making chips for consumer use, those guys are going to make a killing. So my suggestion to you is keep your eyes out for those kind of companies. And if they do start up, make sure if they go public, you buy some because they're going to be busy.
Here it says Micron warns RAM shortages will last beyond 2026 as AI demand surges. Okay, one of the world's largest memory manufacturers has warranted a RAM and storage shortage are unlikely to ease anytime soon, with the constraints expected to persist well beyond the next year if AI demand continues to surge. Micron CEO Sanjay addressed the issue directly during the company's latest earnings call, saying that imbalance between supply and demand is likely to persist for years rather than months. Okay, so buckle up, people. If you're looking to buy a PC anytime soon,
buy it now.
Happen, right?
Buy it now.
Not going to happen. So take a loan out, because if you can't afford it now, you might want to get a loan so you can get it, because you're not going to get some in the next couple of years. Sustained a strong industry demand along the supply constraints are contributing a tight market conditions, and expect these conditions to persist beyond calendar 2026. During the call, according to accelerating the AI data center build-outs are driving a sharp upward revision in memory demand forecasting, leaving manufacturers unable to keep up. Here's the thing, Sarge. I watch a lot of different videos out there, and people are starting to talk about quantum computing, right? Because AI is going to hit a ceiling, okay? And the AI hits the ceiling because it's power consumption, and we can't build the power facilities fast enough to maintain what's happening with the AI, because so many people are adopting. Remember, just 2 years ago, people were like, I ain't gonna fucking use ChatGPT. Now more people are using ChatGPT to search stuff than Google.
It's on your phone automatically.
I know.
It's on your phone automatically.
Remember, people said I'm not going to use it, but now everyone's using it if they like it or not, right? So they say quantum computing is going to happen by 2028, 2029, and that uses a fraction of what the energy of regular AI does, right? And also quantum computing basically grabs from everything all at once instead of scouring the internet to bring back in, right? I know it doesn't sound, amazing, but quantum computing is 1,000 times, I think it's actually more than that, 1,000 times faster than what AI can do right now.
It's like to the third or fourth power.
Yeah.
It's an obscene amount of calculations is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. But look at the trifecta of what's happening, right? They tell you they don't have enough power. They tell you they don't have enough chips. And then they tell you that they're only going to be using it for corporations. So do you actually believe that the entire PC market or computer, or let's put it this way, appliance market, including televisions and whatever else, right? Do you actually believe that the chip shortage is going to be so massive that most of these companies are going to go out of business? Because the only people that can afford to buy the things with those chips in them are corporations, right? Corporations are going to buy the laptops. Corporations are going to buy the computers for their businesses, right? It's going to be harder for a regular citizen to buy something. It'll be like it was back when computers first started. Where like it's going to cost you $5,000 to get a computer, right? And like the only people that can get a $5,000 computer are like people who are well off, right? Or you can make the crazy payments if you want to do the crazy payments. But otherwise, that's what it is, right? So you believe
you're going to be standing in a bread line for a computer.
Do you think that all this going at the same time isn't going to affect those kind of markets? Do you think that all these companies are going to be without chips and all of a sudden their businesses are going to collapse? I don't believe that for a second. I believe that this is a scare tactic in order to justify the positions that some of these corporations are going to take, because they put government contracts in. The reason why Micron isn't making chips for consumers is because they got a government contract, baby. If you get a government contract and they say they need 100 million chips or 200 million chips by such and such date, you're like, I'm taking the contract. I'm not making a PC computer. I'm making these chips for the government. I'm getting paid, right? We know how it works. But at the same time, do you really believe that they are willing to disrupt the entire electronics market that uses these chips for the rest of the economy? They're gonna just go out of business. Do you believe that? I don't believe that. Expensive, yes. I don't think they're going to stay solvent, though.
No, I mean, I think they're doing what they're doing now because they have to run up to catch up to what they want to use AI for, right? So, for instance, the egg shortage that was happening, right? Everyone was doing eggs, so they mass produced. They got more chickens to make more eggs to catch up faster. So instead of taking
time, it takes time.
Yeah, of course. Instead of taking 10 months, it would take 6 months now because all companies started. Remember back in the day, you probably don't remember, but you do because of history. Remember when Ford and them started making tanks and stuff for the army, because they weren't making cars anymore. They weren't making trucks anymore. They were making vehicles for the army because General Motors, right? Because they had to do that to help with the war, right? That's what I look at this, right? Micron, because it's not a war, but because AI is this exponentially, and we went from not using it all to all of a sudden this, they're like,
more companies are going to start making chips.
Right. More companies are going to start opening up. Other people, Krebsy was saying 6 to 8 years to make a new chip plant and stuff like that. But more people are going to take their parts of their division of their companies and starting to make chips or to make stuff. So
demand is high.
Exactly.
Demand is high. You don't have enough. If you don't, anybody with any kind of capital is now looking at this as a great opportunity for them. They're thinking, okay, well, if the AI thing keeps going down this route, and it's going to be like this way for the next several years, if it takes X number of years to make the kind of factory, do we want to suffer through the half a decade of this nonsense? Or do we all pool our money and try to start off with our own company and make our own chips and start selling on the open market because now there's a need, right? Anybody who knows about capitalism and understands it knows that if you're not supplying the consumer area of the industry, it's wide open for you to come in. And if you've got the capital, you'll start a company. That's how this works, right? And then what here's the natural progression, guys. I know you've seen it before if you're not old enough to recognize it, but you'll see it. Like, so it was banks at one point, right? There was a bunch of banks, and then the banks started eating each other, right? Now we're down to like maybe 5 banks, 5 or 6 banks. That's all there is.
Gas
right?
companies,
so
gas
companies, same thing. So right now you're witnessing the birth of AI technologies and the bottom rung of the resources needed to make it, which is silicone and copper and brass and silver and gold and the things that they need to make chips, right? So now you're gonna have more companies open up chip factories to satisfy markets in their region, not worldwide, but they know that their regional markets need it. And so you'll have maybe like another 10 or 12 companies who make chips. And then when things start to calm down again, right? And the big boy has his government contract filled, and the big boy stomps on over back to the normal consumer market and goes, oh, look, all these new guys came in and they made chips for us while we were gone. How nice. Undercut price, blow them up, buy them up, and now a bigger chip company. It's the same story. It's the same story, right? If you want a computer the next couple of years, I suggest start buying it piecemeal, right? Don't look at it as you're buying a $3,000 or $5,000 computer. You should look at it as every 6 months you should buy one major piece. Buy one major piece. You won't notice it. It'll be like a more concise microtransaction, right?
Yeah.
Instead of taking $1 or $2 from you every day for a week, right? You give us $300 or $400 after 6 months, and that's one piece of your computer. And then you look for the other pieces. And here's the best part. You buy the standard stuff first, right? Because you don't care about that stuff, right? The case and the power supply and the motherboard and that kind of thing. And then you wait until you see what the next thing is that comes out, and that way you can spend your money on that one thing.
You also don't need to buy brand new, right? You can.
Yeah, but nobody worth a damn is going to buy some used computer. You don't kind of maniac. They overclock it, not cooled right, smoking in their damn thing, and they want to sell it to you for $250. It sounds like a deal. I gotta smell the new electronics out of the box, bro. I can't buy some maniac secondhand.
Well,
goods.
here's another thing they do, right? The people that will pay $2,000 for a GPU or some RAM, they might sell a lot less of RAM, but there's still people out there that'll spend $2,000 because they have more money than time. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I know it's a war, Aku, but when I say war, I'm not saying there's guns, right? Because a lot of people consume that or assume that war is war with tanks and stuff like that. Obviously, it's a tech war. I understand that. So yeah. So Micron chips going up on price. I want to circle back to Bungie, right? Marathon just had a Vidoc about what they what is Marathon. Okay, I'm not going to show that Vidoc. In the Vidoc, Krebsy sent me something and said they basically say in the video that they explain what Marathon is. It's a bunch of factions, a bunch of companies that are trying to figure out what Marathon is and where they can spend their money, right? And how they can save the Marathon, which is funny because it's like a Inception type of thing, because that's exactly what Sony and Bungie are trying to do with Marathon right now. They're trying to figure out how to save Marathon. But while we're saving Marathon, remember this guy, Sarge? This guy is Bungie veteran Joseph Cross, appears to be no longer be with Marathon's franchise art director. This is the guy that sat there like he was doing a witness, a hostage video, basically, when they got caught stealing the artwork from the artist that was using in Marathon. This guy had to sit there. It was like, this is his punishment, right? He had to sit there on live stream and kind of just ramble on about what, and look pathetic while he was there. Well, guess what? He's no longer with the company. Bungie veteran Joseph Cross appears to have stepped away from Marathon's franchise.
Stepped away.
Yeah, stepped away.
Chat definition of stepped away. Let's hear it in the chat. Let's see if you guys have learned over the years. What's
art
stepped away
director?
mean?
Based on recent LinkedIn social media changes, Bungie upcoming extraction shooter Marathon was slowly finding its footing again after a rocky year. No, it's not finding its footing. It's still doing the exact same thing. It says, but Marathon had its easy road since the gameplay revealed earlier this year. The biggest controversy came from art theft situation, where one-to-one design assets were also found in the alpha build, and the game also had been used without permission. Okay, Joseph Cross appears to no longer be a Marathon's franchise art director. Appears in a longtime Bungie veteran, Joseph Cross, may no longer be serving as Marathon's franchise art director and left Bungie entirely. This information comes from a change spotted on Cross's LinkedIn profile, where his role as senior art director at Bungie is listed and ended sometime in 2025. Cross also held the position since 2018, which is also around the Marathon entered development. His long tenure made him one of the key figures or creative figures tied to the project. In addition to LinkedIn's Cross, public social media presence has also changed. Earlier this year, his X profile bio listed him as a franchise art director for Marathon at Bungie, and the wording of that since has now been updated to broader description that sees art director and artist, Marathon, Dune, and Destiny, with no direct mention of Bungie or specific leadership role. All right, so there's his social media things and whatnot. This does not fully confirm. I love how it says, this does not fully confirm that Joseph Cross has left Bungie. It also is possible that he simply moved into a different position with the studio or stepped away from Marathon Project while remaining at Bungie in another role. Well, then why wouldn't he keep it at Bungie? Right? If he's still at Bungie, why wouldn't he keep his thing at Bungie?
I told you, people in higher up positions get to float around, right?
Yeah.
They're in the void, right? They get picked up by somebody, they work there, and when they leave, they never get bad mouth. They just start to float away again until somebody else picks them up. They don't ever get fired, right? Doing bad in a corporate job doesn't mean you get fired. It means you step away, or you took it on another position. Like, no one ever gets fired. If John steals from the cash register, John gets fucking fired.
Right.
When the art director of $1 billion company steals art to make his product and gets caught, he steps away. He reaches another position, right? He doesn't get, it's not the same, bro. It's not the same. You stealing, right, is the same across the board. It's the same, but not in corporate world. Now he gets to float around until somebody else picks him up. Hey, Joseph's a good guy. He's a good artist. Let's get him, right?
Right.
You mean the guy that stole art?
Well, he didn't steal it, but he let it go happen underneath his watch. Yeah.
Right. Well, no, he didn't steal it personally, but he watched it all come in and didn't give a shit where it came from.
Right. Well, something had to happen. I mean, when it happened, he's like, oh, well, he was the art director since 2018. So obviously it happened under his watch. So he should be fired. Okay. And obviously it looks like he is fired.
Yeah, but it's not. No, bro. We don't say that. We don't say fired. He stepped away.
He stepped away. He stepped away.
It looks bad. It looks bad on his resume if we write down that he allowed stolen art to be used in a corporate video game. You can't have that. We can't have that.
Well, it also has to be very quiet as well, because we're hearing it now, but you notice no one said anything for the last couple months since the incident. But it seems like he's been gone since that incident, right? But now Marathon has a new Vidoc coming out, and then all of a sudden now people are wondering what happened to this. This is all part of the whole cycle.
Dog and pony show.
Yeah, it's all part of the whole fucking cycle, because why wasn't it exposed before? That it just happens now that people noticed his social media has changed or whatnot. Speaking of that, we're going to go to Todd Howard now. Okay. Todd Howard says that Fallout 5 will be existing in a world where the stories and events of the show happen or are happening. Okay. Now there is another article that it says Fallout 5's place in the timeline is now official, according to Todd Howard. Okay. So I would assume that this goes hand in hand, right?
Sure.
Now I haven't seen the show. I haven't watched the first episode yet. But he's saying that Fallout 5 will be existing in the world where stories and events of the show happened or are happening. So we talked a little bit about this last night, Sarge, when we were playing Star Wars.
So happened means past. So that means
right.
that whatever
or
happened
happening,
show, or when the game finally comes out, it could have stuff that has to do with the show. If the show continues to have multiple seasons, that's what happening. That's what happening is.
So last night, Krebsy, while we were playing Star Wars, said, "Well, maybe it's at the end of the show run. So maybe the show runs for 3 seasons, 4 seasons, 5 seasons, whatever it is, right?" Fallout 5 is probably not coming out in the next 3 to 4 years, right? So I would assume that if they pump out these shows a little bit faster than they did last time, that we get season 3 maybe 2027, right? Because we're at the end of 2025 going into 2026. Maybe we get it in 2027, maybe, okay? Maybe 2028. So let's just say it's 3 seasons now, and maybe Fallout 5 comes out in 2028, 2029.
So do you think Fallout 5 comes out before Elder Scrolls? I know we go through this often, but the way they keep talking, about things, right?
I kind of,
if you're telling me happened or happening, means in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I would say before 2029, 2030, it would come out, right? Here's why I think they shifted. Okay, since they showed the trailer or the title of Elder Scrolls 6. Now, Krebsy is saying they did say Elder Scrolls 6 will release before Fallout 5. They did. And they also said there was 2 DLCs for Starfield, and they're coming out 1 a year for the next 2 years, and that didn't happen either, right? So what they say and what they do are 2 different things. I think because of the Fallout show being such a huge success, okay, maybe, this is just my theory, maybe they pushed Fallout 5 in front of Elder Scrolls 6 because Elder Scrolls is still popular. Okay, it's still going on.
You still have the online thing giving you money.
You still have the Elder Scrolls Online happening, and they're constantly upgrading that, right? Fallout 5, I think, has now leapt ahead of Elder Scrolls 6. It's been 6 years since we saw the title sequence of Elder Scrolls 6. We haven't seen shit about Fallout 5, right? But I do believe it took a massive turn. They're like, well, we got to do something. And I do believe that we have a story here with Starfield as well. They have an update coming out. All right, the DLC is coming out for PlayStation 5 and whatnot. This is the game they have, right? This is their new franchise, which is Starfield. And they're like, well, it didn't do very well, but let's release it for PlayStation. Let's release it for Switch. Let's do a little update, maybe make it a little bit better. Because right now we have nothing, right, coming out. Maybe they do a Fallout 3 remaster like they said they were going to do.
This is what I'm saying. So what do you do? What do you do as Bethesda in order to keep the balls juggling properly, right? I don't mean as a dig. I'm talking about just juggling around projects.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you believe that they can get the cross promotion of their show and their video game out at the same time? Because I feel that they're trying to rush it. They're
really
trying to rush
hard
it,
to do,
right?
Yes.
So I think that they're going to do the re-release of Fallout 3. I think is what they're going to do in order to keep hope alive, because I don't think that putting the game and the show together like Defiance did is a healthy option for Bethesda, because I don't think that they're going to be able to get it. Because think of it this way. Think about you trying to come up with storylines for your open world RPG, right? Think about that. And then say, oh, all of a sudden we're going to use the storylines from the show. Right? Now you put yourself in the category of, well, we're following what the show is. Yeah, we're going to have our own stuff, but the main parts of the thing the show's going to be in there.
Right.
So now you're relying on the show succeeding, right? Now you're relying on the show succeeding. What happens if after 2 seasons, the show doesn't do well? I want it to do well. I like it, right? But what happens if it doesn't do well and it falls off? Now you have story missions and things inside the game that you already planned for that now you have to take out and push the game back even further.
Yeah, it's very risky.
Right? Risky to attach a game in a show.
Yeah. Especially since Defiance did it fucking 12 years ago, right? Defiance came out and they juggled the show and the game, where the show took place in Missouri and the game took place in San Francisco, and they would travel over and whatnot. Krebsy says, so they're working on Starfield 2.0, Elder Scrolls 6, and Fallout 5 all at the same time, with Todd saying this week majority of the studios on Elder Scrolls 6. Yeah, these all things could be true. Are you ready for this? I hate to blow your mind. Bethesda, Microsoft, Obsidian, and all the other studios that work for Microsoft are all under the umbrella of Microsoft, right? Obsidian, who makes New Vegas, okay, which worked on New Vegas at the time. The series right now is in Vegas. Like, the television show is in Nevada. They're in Vegas. So who's to say, Krebsy, that Bethesda is not working on Fallout 5, but maybe Obsidian is working on Fallout 5, or some other studio that is now working, because they're all under the same umbrella.
And they're told where to go. They're told where to go.
Right. They're told what to do and told what to do, right? So Bethesda is Bethesda, but Bethesda is owned by Microsoft. Obsidian is owned by Microsoft. By what the title's saying, that it's existing world where the stories and events of the show happen or are happening. Okay. If their full team is working on Elder Scrolls 6, that could be a thing. And their full team, just like the #1 movie at the box office this weekend is the movie that came out. All of Bethesda, majority of them, are working on Elder Scrolls 6. And at the same time, Fallout 5 is being worked on because Microsoft owns the brand, owns the show. Bethesda is the thing. And they're like, you know what? This is a hot commodity. We need to push this out. Let's prioritize this. Who can we do? Well, Obsidian made New Vegas back in the day. They did a fantastic job. What do you think, Obsidian? Since you made Avowed, since you made Outer Worlds 2, since you made Grounded, you think you could step up and make a New Vegas? Perhaps. What are we doing time until then?
Or at least do the remake of 3.
Well, that's already in the process. That's been leaked. That's been leaked.
But you don't know who's working.
No, the remaster's happening just like the Oblivion remaster. Fallout 3 remaster is supposed to come out this year.
No, I know that, but we don't know who worked on it.
2026.
We don't know who worked on it. I'm saying it could be Obsidian who worked on the Fallout 3
correct
remaster. Right.
So who's to say that they're not juggling all these things, but Bethesda themselves is not juggling the whole thing. But Bethesda, Todd Howard is, because he said he's retired. He wants to do Elder Scrolls 6, right? Elder Scrolls 6 is his last thing, is what he's doing. Look, money talks, and the show did a very good job for them. Fallout's a hot thing, right? Obviously, Fallout 76 is still very successful. So Fallout 3 Remaster is going to come out. People are going to buy that. And now they're like, well, Fallout 5, let's push that out there.
Well, the kids that are watching the Fallout show will now see Fallout 3 Remastered and might actually want to play it because it's not outdated. Because it's up to date with the rest of the games that they know.
Sorry, it's Remaster 4. Thank you for that. I thought it was 3. Let's grant that point. Obsidian just released 3 games. So you think they're also working on Fallout 5 and will be out before Elder Scrolls 6.
By the way that they're talking, I'm not saying yes or no.
Yeah.
But by the way the article is talking, when you say that the game is going to have the story points from the game that either happened or happening, which means past tense or current. So that means that the game, the show has to be still out when you release the game.
Right.
If it's happening, that means the game and the show are out at the same time.
Did the show come out in 2023, right? Fallout series came out in 2023, not 2024? Or did it come out Fallout series release?
No, but we're saying that Obsidian might be working on one of the remasters.
Yeah, because April 10th, 2024. Sorry, so here we are, right? April 10th, 2024. They beelined it. Now we're at the end of 2025. So it's about a year and over a year and a half. Season 2 comes out now. So season 3 will probably be late 2027. Okay, mid 2027. Okay, it all depends on how this goes. By January, you'll know if they're doing a season 3. They probably already said they're doing a season 3. And if they're linking Fallout 5 to this, and we don't know what they're doing here, maybe they have 4 seasons planned, 5 seasons planned. I don't think we see Fallout series season 10. I don't see that happening.
They're doing really well. If they're doing really well, you get 5. I think probably 3 or 4.
Right. So 3 comes out in 2027. Season 4 comes out late 2028, 2029. Fallout 5 could be ready.
Right. When they drop words like that, it means that it's going to be out at the same time. Because you're talking about present. Happening is present.
Right. Happen or happening. Happen meaning it happened in the show, and you could take the timeline of the game and put it running with that show. So they could do something like loosely based, like all of a sudden Lucy comes in and gives you a quest, or and then it's a crossover. So maybe you saw something happen in the show, and then your character comes into the show, like that part of the show. And you're like,
see the room. You see the room where it happened.
Yeah, stuff like that, crossovers, little things like that. We'll see. Do I think Bethesda's working on Fallout 5? That's the question. I don't think they are. I think they've passed the torch over. Maybe they have their hands in it a little bit, but their full team is working on Elder Scrolls 6, because by the time that comes out, 2027, 2028, I think Fallout 5 is shortly after that, right? So maybe Elder Scrolls 6 comes out 2027, and then Fallout 5 comes out in 2028.
Regardless of how good you think it's going to be, the timetable is so strung out now. It's too long, bro. I say this every week, but it's too long. It's too long between games. Too bloated and too long, right? You don't need all this shit, man. We're looking for a game to play. You're telling me I gotta wait a decade and a half to see a sequel to a game that I was like 30 something when it came out?
Right.
It's mental.
So the last thing for Bethesda I want to talk about here is Starfield. Where's that story? Do I not have it? Yeah. Okay. So Starfield apparently was supposed to have DLC coming out this past September, but it didn't. It got delayed, but they never said. But they did mention in an interview the year before that every year they have a DLC for the next 2 years. It didn't happen in the second year. Now people are talking about how PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch 2 are going to have potential come out at the exact same time or whatever. So they'll probably announce it in January with the Xbox Direct that they have. And so Bethesda's working on Starfield, and they're still continuing to support it because this is their new franchise. And even though people are not excited about it or it didn't do well, it still had 7 million people play it. It still has most articles written about it because people love to hate on Starfield, and Starfield was popular. If you want to admit that or not, it was popular.
I still think it's too much time spent on this game, dude. They could be spending all this time and resources on the other games. On something else.
But you don't know what their plans are.
Yeah, but
we don't know the amount of people that are working on this, though.
Nobody care. I'll rephrase. Nobody in great number cares about Starfield, bro. They don't. There is not this overwhelming closet group of people waiting for a DLC to come out because they're waiting for it. They're looking for new shit, dude. They want a new game. They want a new game.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Starfield.
You're not wrong there, Krebsy. I mean, there's a long time between now and 2030, right? There's 4 years, and if they only do 3 seasons, like I said, the show could end. The show third season could be an absolute travesty, and they're like, the show fell off, right? It was peak in season 2, season 3, right? Look at Mando, right? 3 seasons, the third season sucked balls, and now they're making a movie, right? Lots of shit can happen between now and then. So, but yeah, Elder Scrolls 6, 2027, Fallout could be 2030, whatever. So I still think they're all in on Starfield, right? Because they need Starfield to fill the gap, okay? Maybe the Oblivion takes a little bit of pressure off, the remaster. Maybe the remaster of Fallout 4 takes the pressure off a little bit. But Starfield's the thing, right? Now they're putting it out on PlayStation. Now they're putting it out on Switch, supposedly. Switch 2, okay? And they're also supposed to have their 2.0 moment where they're upgrading the space travel. They're changing up some things with the game. They had closed tests behind doors recently. So I think we'll hear about it in the next month or so, what's happening.
If I can't make my own city in space, I don't even want to bother looking at it. I'll be honest with you. If I can't make a town someplace, an actual town, I can make towns in Fallout 4. I can make cities, right? If I can't make a space city where people live and work and for me to run it like a mayor or whatever you want to, then what's the point of me going back?
Yeah.
You already gave me 10,000 planets with nothing on them.
1,000 planets. Yeah.
And you won't even let me put stuff on the planet. Or you could build stuff. Yeah, I'm building like an industrial park.
Industrial plant to supply,
so I can supply myself to keep going, but not like people live here, you know? It's just weird, man. I really, truly believe the game came out too early and there was no way for them to catch up. That's what happened. That game came out way too early and it was too long in development, came out too early, and they still can never catch up to do what they wanted to do.
See, I don't think they're going to wrap it up, Titan. I understand what you guys want. Obviously, you guys want a new Elder Scrolls. Well, guess what? Stop playing Elder Scrolls Online because
Yeah.
Yeah, you wanted a new Grand Theft Auto. Well, guess what? Stop playing Grand Theft Auto Online.
That's the reason.
right?
That's the reason why it's been 6+ years now.
You guys
It's 'cause they got all those
are
goals.
you guys are your own worst enemy because you won't stop playing the thing so they can go on to do the next thing, right?
Because that
Starfield's
was
not the problem.
Because that was the reason why you made a sequel, right? People play your game,
Yeah.
you got the money from it, and then they stop playing your game and they go someplace else. Well, how do we get them back? Well, I got to make another game.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I think Starfield, they're like, well, we have nothing right now, right? There's no Fallout 5 coming. There's no Elder Scrolls 6 coming. They're like, what do we got? Well, we got Starfield.
Yep. And
We got Fallout 76.
We got a remaster coming
And we got Elder Scrolls Online. Well, these are the three things that we need to keep concentrate on to keep people for the next 2 years while we wait for the next Fallout 5 or the next, Elder Scrolls 6 type of thing, right? In quick stories, we've got the Sony fight against the Horizon lookalike has come to an end, right? This was the Lights of Morium, whatever it was called. They basically, it doesn't say they win or lose. It just says that they removed from Steam and the Epic Games Store as Sony reaches a settlement with Tencent, right? It doesn't go into discloses anything of money disclosed or anything like that. Their games have been delisted. Okay, delisted, which could mean that they said, hey, take this down. You have to make these changes before you can make this thing happen, right? So the game itself was a survival game. It wasn't like a action adventure game like Horizon, but the animals and stuff look copy pasted from the actual game, right? So maybe they said, hey, you need to take it down. So it says, announced last year, Light of Morium was quickly compared to Sony's Horizon series and featured a very similar to art direction and tone to the post-apocalyptic sci-fi series developed by Guerrilla Games. Both games featured a vibrant environment and animal-like robots, and Sony has a quick to file a lawsuit. Sony Tencent eventually began discussions to resolve the dispute, and Sony is demanding Tencent to pause all public promotion or testing of Light of Morium, right? So that was their thing. Tencent allegedly pitched Sony the game and was also turned down by the company. Later argued that Sony's lawsuit was an attempt to establish a monopoly on Horizon-like games. Sony, in turn, accused Tencent of playing legal shell game to avoid facing repercussions and allegedly infringing on intellectual property. While it looked like Light of Morium may be no more, the Horizon mobile game is currently in development recently, right? So they have a mobile game. I think this is why Sony hit them, because the Light of Morium was also a mobile game, and maybe it was too similar, and maybe that's where they got them. So they're like, you have to stop promoting that right now because we have the intellectual property of this game, and we're doing basically what you're doing. So who knows?
This is still iffy to me though, because robotic dinosaurs is not a copyright.
Correct.
Right? Dinosaurs are in a bunch of games, right? You can't stop that from happening. So robotic dinosaur is not far from that.
I'm gonna take a far stretch here. Okay, I think that Sony might have been doing what Nintendo did to Pocket Pair with Pal World. Okay, because we knew about a Horizon multiplayer game happening, right? But we didn't know about the Horizon phone mobile game. Okay, so I'm just putting this out there. I'm not saying that this is what they did. I'm speculating maybe this is what they did because they saw Light of Morium and they're like, wait a minute, they're copying us, but it's not a 1-to-1. As far as it's the same type of game. It's a Pal World-esque game, but it looks like Horizon. Sony was like, quick, let's make a mobile game that's a survival game with the Horizon franchise. That way we can look at this and say, hey, you need to take that game down because we own the Horizon and we're making a game like that on mobile. And they're like, okay, I don't know. Changing the patent after the patent, Nintendo did it, so I'm not gonna say that Sony wouldn't do something like that.
Yeah, but that was a red flag when they changed the patent in the middle of them already had the
game.
That's just a bunch of crap. You already know that.
So, Horizon-like game coming on mobile. So we'll see what happens with that. Another short story, real fast. Silk Song has sold more than 7 million copies in 3 months, and no, that's not counting Game Pass. So wait, this game is doing very, very well.
How could you possibly tell me a number? How do you even know? It's so kind of convoluted. How could you tell me the number of copies that you sold?
Yeah, they don't know.
It's impossible to figure out, bro.
But
these numbers are made up. I can't believe them.
Well, I think this number is actually from Steam. It tells you what it is, right? So they can figure it out on that. But they don't know the Game Pass numbers, obviously. Another quick story. Where is it? Call of Duty. Rumored leaks suggest that Call of Duty in 2026 may repeat the Modern Warfare 2 mistake, which is basically doing minimal viable product. Basically, they're taking everything that Call of Duty did in 2022 and just doing the exact same thing, the bare minimum, just so they can get this out the door next year. Right?
Yeah,
not far-fetched.
After you just got your ass beat on not I'm not saying by sales, because I still think Call of Duty outsold Battlefield. The game is just a worse product. But after your game, they have 3 studios in rotation.
I don't know, Sarge. It says extremely likely to outsell Black Ops 7. Extremely likely.
Extremely likely. Yeah. The issue that I have is that they have 3 studios and they overlap each other, and every 3 years a game comes out. So in the middle of all this nonsense, when all the backlash happened, your game's coming out next year. So you have almost a whole year to figure out what you're doing, right? And you're saying now that you're gonna follow the same mistakes. Like, you have an entire year to fix this shit, man. How could you say you're gonna follow the same mistakes after you know what was wrong with the game? Right?
Because
you know you're copy pastaing.
Well, they said a high percentage of people just autopilot Call of Duty every year on PlayStation. The people that
Not
buy
anymore.
it just buy it every year, right? Well, no, they still bought it autopilot. They don't tell you the sales numbers, but their number that they showed last time was 15 to 16% of PlayStation owners buy it Call of Duty every year.
All right, so
That's 12.5 million people that bought the game just on PlayStation by that stat.
But this is why I'm saying I still think that Call of Duty, this year's Call of Duty, outsold Battlefield, even though they won't say it.
It probably did, because it also was on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, right? So Who knows? It says Battlefield liked to take the piss out of Call of Duty, but it was very healthy rivalry. That pushed DICE to do its own thing. You pushed yourself to do stuff maybe that you wouldn't do. Right, when it was shitty. As rivalries go, they don't get much bigger than Call of Duty versus Battlefield. 2 of the largest, most expensive series around, both of them covering both wars of both past, present, and future. And of course, there's going to be some competition. Who served as lead designer, David Goldfarb, who served as lead designer at DICE in Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2, even found ways to throw some punches in the script. Even lines that wrote Bad Company 2 were also the Chopper and Sweetwater says, hell, just send some special op douchebags with pussy-ass heartbeat monitors on their guns instead of us, something that was directly referenced from Modern Warfare. I did take the piss out of those guys more than once, not because I didn't like them, because I did, right? It's exactly right. We talk about competition, even though these weren't in...
This is not a competition.
Direct competition.
Yeah, Call of Duty has never been in direct competition with Battlefield. There are 2 games doing 2 different types of gameplay. They share the same genre, right? But they are not in competition. When one company beats you every year for over 15 years.
Well, this is back in the day over here, yeah.
Yeah. It's not a competition. No one's winning 60-40 here. Like, Battlefield gets crushed by Call of Duty every year, and the one year that they beat them, you start picking him up on your shoulders and running around like he's Rudy. Like, he was in for 5 minutes and
that's a good analogy,
right?
Yeah.
And sack somebody. You're not in competition.
Right.
You just Call of Duty fucked up, and Battlefield was there to pick up the pieces, just like we thought they would. We're like, this is the year. We said it. This is the year. If they're going to do it, this is the year to do it.
So here it says, oh, why did it change? No, why did that change? Oh, for God's sakes. It did. Uh-oh. There we go. It clicked a link inside the story itself. It says here, Goldfarb tells that DICE pushed itself to do stuff maybe you wouldn't do if they were not there, right? So if they didn't have competition with Call of Duty in the market, they probably wouldn't have pushed themselves to do certain things. He says, I haven't even seen the kind of shooter executed at that level, he says, and probably won't ever again. They were works of art almost. They couldn't compete with that, so they had to do our own thing. Call of Duty was looming over the things like Goldfarb joined DICE too. He says they came on to work at Bad Company 2. Still my favorite one. Lead designer, but it actually isn't what happened. What happened at Bad Company 1 got pushed back because Call of Duty 4 was good as it was. So we spent more time working on Bad Company 1, and I think they worked on Mirror's Edge at the end. There was also a negative side to the rivalry too. However, mostly took form to pressure of the higher ups. The negatives are usual. Well, we need to sell X units. They're going to sell the X to sell Y units, and the competition meant that EA wanted DICE to do things that maybe aren't the best things for game, right? So obviously, look at that now, right? You see that Battlefield 6 right now brought their game up to what COD is. They copied them straight up, right? And now Call of Duty is struggling. Okay, so maybe now because Battlefield is up to what Call of Duty is doing, then Call of Duty will have the competition and they'll come back the following year. But who knows what the bare minimum that they're doing with the next year with the Modern Warfare stuff.
Still waiting for big maps.
Yep, all the big maps they promised, huh? We got that done. Let me see.
You got your one big map, bro. You got your big map.
Another quick story is FIFA and Netflix. FIFA game has officially been announced, right? FIFA and Netflix team up. It says it's been a long time coming, but FIFA football game is happening, and the new FIFA game is being developed and released in Netflix games. Sarge, I remember talking about this.
Isn't World Cup next year?
I believe so, right? Yeah, 2028. 2028 is World Cup.
Is it 28?
I think it's 28. When's the Olympics?
I lost track.
I'm mixing up the Olympics with the World Cup. I
don't think World Cup and Olympics are ever in the same year.
No, they're not. So it's 1 year after the other. It's coming in. So we're hosting the Olympics, and then we're also hosting the World Cup. And I think it's like boom, 27, 28. I think it is.
I'm trying to. I'll look it up. I forget where the timetable is right now.
Well, I remember. I have to go back to one of the GXG episodes. We were talking about when EA dropped the FIFA and went with FC, right? And I said, FIFA will just find somebody else to team up with. And obviously, I don't remember if I said Netflix. I don't think I did, but I said some other company, if it was like Amazon or someone else, they can make and team up and make a thing. And here it is, right? FIFA game is coming to Netflix game and just in time. Oh, here you go. For the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So yeah, World Cup is coming in 2026. Olympics is in 2027, I think, right? So FIFA is very excited to team up with Netflix games, interactive ahead of FIFA World Cup 2026. The major collaboration is a key milestone for FIFA's commitment to innovation of football game space, which aspires to reach billions of football. This doesn't sound very good, but if they make a good game, Netflix does, okay? And FIFA, soccer, is the world's largest sport, okay? It's more popular around the world than anything else, okay? EA makes a shit ton of money. But if this comes out and they actually make a good soccer game, Netflix, I'm not saying that all 250 million people that have Netflix are going to play FIFA, but holy shit, this is a big change because the most consoles out there right now is PlayStation at 80 million units. Now you have FIFA come out here and they're on Netflix, which is 250 million subscribers and on 3.2 billion devices. Okay, so there's people that don't even have Netflix now around the world that might get Netflix just to play the FIFA game. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, if the cloud-based gaming works well and Netflix makes a decent game, then yes. But if they try to half-ass it and try to just do a cross-promotion with the World Cup and try to say that now you can watch World Cup while playing World Cup on Netflix only, and they're going to start that kind of publicity, then I don't know, because I haven't seen Netflix come out with a decent game yet. So let's see what they can do. Sports, I would think, would probably be the easiest because you don't got to come up with nothing. You got to just do game mechanics.
I hope they don't skimp out and make it just a mobile game. I hope it's not just a mobile game. But
we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
All right. We're ready for Q&A. If you guys have any questions and you would like to hit us up, put a Q in front of your question. We'll mark it, and then we'll go over some Q&A with Sarge. As you guys are talking or trying to figure out what questions you want to ask, let's see what else. Real quick, Sarge, there is a Ubisoft has acquired Amazon Games Montreal team. Okay, marketing return to Rainbow Six Siege. A lot of people thought that, because they took this team that made certain games, that they're just gonna maybe they'll save New World. That's not happening. New World is done. So Xbox has confirmed that they have a showcase in early 2026. It usually happens in the second week of January. So we'll probably see something or hear something soon on that.
That'll be the New Year's present.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else we have. Oh, YouTube gets the rights to the Oscars, right?
That's a big deal, bro.
Now, I know a lot of people are like, who gives a shit about the Oscars, right?
That's a huge deal.
But the thing is, It is a huge deal because for 50 years, it's been on cable television.
ABC?
It's been on ABC.
Network television.
Well, network television, right. Okay. And it's weird because Disney didn't even think that YouTube was even interested, right? And they didn't want to raise their bid for the stuff. They were paying over $100 million for the Oscars and stuff. Well, YouTube comes in, and I said that YouTube getting the bid for this, it happens in 2029, so it happens on the 101st award ceremony. I know a lot of people are like, who gives a shit? I haven't watched the Oscars in a long time. The last thing I watched was maybe when you heard that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock and stuff like that. But this is big. YouTube is changing, right? So in 5 years from now, 4 years from now, or 3 years from now, we don't know the landscape of YouTube. YouTube is changing completely. A lot of people are complaining that their viewership's going down. They're moving more towards basically television, right? More people are watching us right now, Sarge, on television than they did in the past. My stats went from 3% in the beginning of this year to 19% of people watching the show on television. That's just my small little channel. That's a huge jump from 3% to 19%. Okay. So 48% of my population watches me on mobile. Okay. So lots of people are watching television. Now, people don't know this, but when you watch television, you've been conditioned to watch certain things in certain ways. So like if you watch reality shows or if you watch network TV, there's a production value, a certain level that you watch on your television, right? This is your movie theater in your house. So now people are starting to watch YouTube, where now there's people making YouTube content that's like television. It rivals television. It rivals, right? The podcast shows that are happening, the documentary series people make, just their daily VODs they upload. And YouTube is leaning more into that. They're starting to show more lower tier people to get more people interested into YouTube and whatnot. So it's very interesting to see what happens now that they're bringing the Oscars over in 3 years, where we stand. Will a show like ours even be on the air on YouTube in 3 years? Because is more network TV type of stuff going to be coming over to YouTube? Are more celebrities, are more networks going to be putting more stuff on YouTube? Because YouTube will be the television set.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to change the name from YouTube to the YT network. I think that's what they're going to do. Right? Like everybody else comes up with a network name. I think that's what they're trying to do. So it'll be a streaming network instead of it being like a cable network. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just where they're going. I mean, I think, and I think the other reason why they're messing with people's algorithms is they're trying to shake the tree and get rid of the low people on the totem pole to make it difficult for them, and then that way, the ones who are the mid ground and up are the ones that they keep and consolidate the channels, and they can divide up channels. Then they can say they can make up their new division on their UI, saying specific channels for specific things, and they get you guys down to the exact thing you want to watch, right?
Right.
You'd be under talk shows or what if you make the cut, that is, right? If you make the cut. Right. We don't know what kind of rules they're going to make up, right? They might start doing all kinds of stuff. If it goes to a network type model instead of you just doing content to see if you can get revenue stream from it, and they change the rules, then a lot of the people just they fall off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe they charge you to be on because they're so popular now that it's not just a streaming thing that you get to do from the comfort of your own home. It's like you're on their service. You got to pay them now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you might not be far off from that.
Yeah, I mean, just look at what Mr. Beast does, where he started, what content he's making now. I mean, it's like television shows. Yeah, he's doing television shows basically, right? So it's going to be very interesting. A lot of people just look at this and go, "Well, who cares? Who cares that the YouTube got the out?" It's a big deal, man. It's going to change it's going to change the landscape of. And I think you look at what the Game Awards did with 171 million viewers watching the Game Awards, which is the Game Awards. Right? Do you know the biggest ever for the Oscars is 1/3 of what the Game Awards just did? 1/3, 50 million people in 1998 watched the Oscars, which is the most ever for the Oscars. Yet the Game Awards, 171 million people watched. Right?
But that's worldwide.
Yeah.
I think the 50 million was the continental United States, though. I think it was the States.
Yeah, but whatever. That's all they show it to.
Well, it's a big deal for them because
sure, but now
back in the 90s,
the whole world can watch it.
I think 50 million people back in the 90s is what is that? like 25% of the whole country watch the Oscar. That's a lot of people, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. Let's remove the banner. Let's go to some questions here. Krebsy, I'm not going to answer your question of the... I did talk about the vid doc. Yeah, we talked. I mentioned it earlier, so I'm going to remove that one from the questions. All right. The first question is from Waterbear. How long do you think Highguard will last after it drops? 13 or 14 days? I think it lasts... I mean, I can't fathom. I don't want to say ever. I said this earlier in the show, Water. I can't say it's going to beat Concord in 13 like closing down.
13 days to beat's hard, bro.
That's
hard.
extremely hard to beat. I'm going to say, here's what I'll say. I say in the public eye, it will be dead in about 14 days. Okay? But the game will last, and it'll go through a little cycle. It'll last maybe 6 months. But I think to the gamer population, the game is dead on arrival, and the people that like it, that talk it up, it'll be in the media for about 2 weeks, and then it'll die off.
3 months.
You say 3 months?
One season of their inside game thing to give them a chance to release whatever they want to release to try to get people interested. 3 months. It comes out in January. It'll be done by March.
Okay. Next one. Krebsy says, with all these microchip problems, how high do you see a PC price getting in 2026?
Well, if they know the market, right? You know about this, Krebsy. There's a certain amount of people that will pay for a computer. They're well off, or they're willing to spend that kind of money. But buying a computer back then is not the same thing as buying a computer now. Like when you used to buy a computer back then, it used to be like the family is getting a computer. The family, right? Yeah. It wasn't like Todd's getting an iPad. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same. So I don't think that it'll go up a lot. I think they're gonna have to try to probably eat into their profit margin a little bit, because if they want to move product, because if we're gonna follow PC prices, you're looking at a $3,000, $3,500 machine.
Yeah, I was about to go there. I think that a $1,800 machine is probably going to run for $2,500 to $3,000, and maybe companies that build PCs. Maybe they throw in, excuse me. Maybe they throw in some more peripheral type of stuff. Maybe they throw in a LED package or something to spruce it up. Maybe a gift card. You know what I mean? To kind of off balance, something that you can still go back to the place to get more stuff down the road. But you're gonna pay. I think it's gonna go up. Like I said, a $1,500 to $1,800 computer will be about $2,500 to $2,800. So it's gonna go up about $800 to $1,000, right?
It's supply and demand, man. If you don't have the chips to make a unit, how many units can you make? If there's less units, they're going to sell them for more money. It's just how it works. I know everyone. I know the problem with the free market, and I'm not against it at any means. The free market is the proper way to do things. The issue is that when you have only so many people in the industry, they collude. That's the problem. So if company A and B have been around forever and they're selling shit at their price, let's say they're selling their shit at $2,000, right? Company C comes in, the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed guy with money in his pocket, and says, I can do better. I could do better, right? Comes in, analyzes the pricing structure for company A and B, and says, I could do the same fucking thing for $1,300, and I could still make a good profit. Yeah. So he releases this thing at $1,300, and after a year or two, A and B get together and they have a meeting with company C, and they go, hey, we can all benefit if we all put it around $2,250, right? This way they can't go anywhere. You can do your own advertisements or whatever else. We could all do well if it's $2,250, right? Or we make it difficult for you, right? And so colluding is why you see the prices are all the same no matter where you look. Because remember, in the old days, when you had a lot of companies, somebody was always undercutting somebody else. That's how it worked, right? Because that's how you want business. That's what the free market is. I undercut you because I want to have the people come to my business. So you start balancing out the numbers. How much profit am I willing to lose and still make profit while trying to take a slice of the market away from this other guy, right? But when they collude, they don't do that. Everyone's charging the same shit. And if you notice in certain industries, that's where it is. Everything's the same price. right?
Yeah.
They might have a sale, 15% off or 20% off every once in a while, but they collude, right? You can always tell. You can always tell when someone's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed because you can see the price drop. You can see the price difference, and then it makes you ask the question, well, how is it possible you can be in business for $12.50 and everybody else is charging $3,000, right? How can you be in business? Well, that's easy because the guy A and B decided $3,000 was what they decided on, and they wanted the extra house or the extra yacht or whatever else they wanted, and you say, well, that's what the price is. I have to buy it, right? So then when company C comes and goes, $12.50, bro, let's roll it. You start asking questions. How can you stay in business? Because either you don't know the market, you don't know how much the things cost, you don't care how much it costs because you make enough money.
Next question. Krebsy says, Xbox said $80 games won't happen until after the holiday season. When in 2026 do we hear about the Xbox pulling the trigger on those $80 games?
I don't think they are.
I think they will. I think it'll be Starfield on the PlayStation because they'll throw the 2 DLCs plus the game itself. They'll say it's $80 on PlayStation. Maybe they don't go $80 obviously on Xbox with that game because they can't charge more than that because they've already charged what they were. But I think Starfield will be $80 on PlayStation and Nintendo because Nintendo's already ready for $80 games. They're already playing Mario Kart for $80. So I think that's where we see that for that. I'm going to say March. I think March is the game. If it's Starfield or if it's another game, I feel $80 in March is what's going to happen.
I think after Claire Obscure and Larian's run on how games should be made with the size studios that they had, I said I don't think they're going to be doing $80 games because people are going to start to realize that $80 for a video game is too much. It's bloated. The company is bloated, and they're not going to do it.
That's fine.
I'm telling you.
They have Game Pass.
They could
make the problem, push them towards subscription.
You will buy a $80 game, but you won't sell them in the same numbers. That's what I'm going to say. You won't
$80 looks horrendous, but $30 looks amazing next to $80. They push
Not
the
really.
80 to get you. Yeah, they're going to push people to get to the subscription service. It's the exact same thing Ubisoft did for Outlaws, and they're like, you could pay $80 or $120, or you could pay $18 for the month. And they're like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. I'm going to pay $18 a month. They want you on the subscription service. Microsoft wants you on the subscription service. They're going $80 all day, every day. They're going to be like, here you go. This is $80. Oh, by the way, you don't have to pay $80. You can come to Game Pass. $30 a month for
I don't think they're going to get the numbers that they want.
I don't think so either, but they want subscription models. Right? That's what they want. Next question. Any games you're looking forward to play this holidays? No. I have zero interest in any new games. As far as games I'm already playing, I'm going to play Helldivers 2. I'm going to play Arc Raiders. I'm going to play Disney Speedstorm. I'm going to play some Fortnite with my son. I'm going to play some Roadcraft. I'm not looking forward to any like new games. I'm going to play some games. I might try actually that I just bought. It is actually a new game. It was $4. Is Surrounded, which is a single player survival zombie game, a voxel based game. Low pixel, I should say, over on Steam. So that'll be the game I think maybe I might try this holiday season.
Yeah, I don't think I have. I've got plenty of stuff to keep myself occupied. I don't see any new games coming out. And if it is quote unquote new, it'll probably be on Game Pass for me to try.
Right. Next one is any game related gift you have given to yourself for Christmas. Any gaming related gift you have given to yourself for Christmas? No.
I gave it to myself for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, during the holidays, I don't really buy anything for myself. I usually buy things for other people.
Yeah, I don't. Well, this year I did for the nephew thing to see if they could fake Santa Claus out for a year. But I don't. I bought myself the DLC thing for Company Heroes 3 for Thanksgiving, but I don't really buy any stuff really for Christmas.
Yeah, I don't usually buy stuff like that. I wait to see what I get for Christmas.
Sale.
Yeah, I wait to see what I get for Christmas because I have things on my wish list and stuff like that. And then afterwards, I'll pick up something because usually stuff goes on sale in like February and stuff anyway. So,
yep.
Next question. Krebsy says, what would you score the Game Awards? A to D. Production-wise, Krebsy, I'll give you two answers here. I thought it was the best produced show he's done ever. with the staging, the way they did the camera cuts, the audio, everything was good. I give it an A for that. For the content that they actually showed, there was a lot of stuff they showed, and there was either no dates, 2027, right? No gameplay, and that to me, I'll rate it like a C for as far as that.
I give it a B plus. I thought it was the best one he's done so far, and we've watched them all. So
Yeah.
B plus. There's always going to be those guys who pay for time slots that don't have a game coming out, but they're going to throw some date on there that doesn't make any sense. But as far as production value for what the Game Awards did, it wasn't a snooze fest. They kept the pace going. Yes, people are upset because you don't get to watch the people talk about their games because it's supposed to be about the devs, but really it's not. It's about advertisements. So you can get mad at the fact that you didn't see developers talk, but the percentage of people who watch it don't want to hear the developers talk. They're there to watch the games. So it's like a catch-22. Like, I understand, I want to hear from some of these guys because they worked hard on their game, but it's almost like you have to have an award show about the award show. Like, after everybody won and got their awards, you invite those people back onto a separate show and you sit down and you talk to them, let them talk about their teams and their and like a separate thing completely, because that's not the time to do it, apparently, because nobody wants to watch that shit because they call it boring, it was diluted, it was cringe. They don't like the attention span is less than a goldfish now, so stuff's got to be popping off the whole time. So do you think we have time to listen to people talk about their teams and whatnot? No one gives a shit. Pick up your award and walk. That's what they say.
Is that true, Pixel Slap? Is that Star Wars is coming to Game Pass? 4 days ago, Ubisoft support let it leak that Outlaws is coming to Game Pass. That is, unless Game Pass had DLC for Outlaws in the past. I went to play the game after installing through my CD key purchase. I noticed the DLC was showing on as owned. I could not download the content or took screenshots and said Ubisoft support. After a bunch of that, it looked like the AI responded. We can confirm that DLCs were accessible through a Game Pass subscription. So perhaps it's coming. I don't think there's an official announcement though, unless I'm missing something. Next thing, Altern says, what mafia did Sarge join to get the fedora?
I've had this for a while. Christmas Mafia, of course.
The Christmas, I was just going to say that. Krebs says, with it being the last show of 2025, what's your favorite game of 2025? Biggest surprise game, i.e. wasn't on the radar, but you liked it. Most memorable gaming moment in 2025. I think mine's pretty easy. I was saying it throughout the full frontal of the first part of the year. I played a lot of different games this year, but Split Fiction, for me, even though Expedition 33 is a amazing game, I only put about 22 hours into Expedition 33 as of right now. Split Fiction, what did we put in? 12 hours or whatever it was, 8 hours. I absolutely loved every single second of that game. Like, gameplay, it brought me back to being a kid. You can go watch that video of me and Sarge playing. Like, you could hear it on our voices that I was just having a blast. I was blown away by everything they did in that game. So Split Fiction, for me, was the game of my favorite game of 2025.
Claire Obscure is probably the best game I played, but the most memorable game of the year is Split Fiction. The most memorable, yes.
Yeah. It took what platformers did and upped it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Especially since you had to work as a team and you had to figure stuff out.
Yeah. Greta says, what do you think of Tim Kaine is working on with the returning of Obsidian? I mean, I know his tweet said you'll never guess, so it could be completely something different, but it could be Fallout 5. You'll
never guess.
I forget what it was. What was his actual quote that he said in his let me go to Twitter. Let me see what his actual quote was. I don't even know if I have his. I don't know if it's at Tim Kaine or let me see. Tim Kaine. Is it Tim? Oh, it's K-C-A.
Returning to Obsidian to do what? What would Obsidian be doing?
He's the original guy for Fallout.
So you'll never guess, is what he said?
That could be like him saying, like as
a
funny. Like,
sarcasm.
Sarcasm. You'll never guess, right?
Or he's doing the remake of Fallout 4 or the remake of Fallout 3.
He could be working on Fallout 5. He couldn't be working on Fallout at all. But he's retired. He came out of retirement, going back to Obsidian.
Well, if you're coming out of retirement, your number's big. So what's going to pay your number? I don't think it's going to be a remake.
It might be the new Fallout. I forgot that he came back and he went to Obsidian. Like, that was announced like 2 weeks ago, right?
I mean, you're coming out of retirement. The number they offered you must be big. So it has to be something that can be worth getting. I don't think it's a remake. So I think it's probably one of the new titles.
All right, so there you go. Yeah, but going back to Obsidian, maybe Obsidian is working on the next Fallout, and Tim Kane's coming back to work on Fallout. That'd be a nice circle of life.
End it where you began.
Yeah. All right, let's see the next one. That one's done, and the last one is Waterbear says, do you think the Steam machine will be over $1,000 when the price is announced, or will it come out at two different price points, $699 and $899? I think so. I talked about this a couple weeks ago where they subsidize it, but I was talking about how they could maybe go cheaper than all the other consoles. But now that the RAM prices are up and all these other things that are happening, maybe they still subsidize it, but instead of paying $1,200, you are paying the $899, right? You are paying the $699 because Steam knows they're going to make that money back, right? So they'll eat the cost, sell the units at a loss, but get more money back from you afterwards because you're going to be on the ecosystem, right? You'll be on the ecosystem once you buy that. It's not like you can't buy a disc. You have to go through Steam. You have to go through their machine. So I would say that's a pretty good price point. I'll go with your two different price points, $699, $899. Maybe it's $799 and $999, or $699 and $999. But I think they eat the cost a little bit.
There's definitely going to be two price points.
Yeah, I think they're going to eat the price because they can. What do you think, Sarge?
There's definitely going to be two price points, 100%.
Do you think it's over 1,000, or do you think it stays under?
I still think they want to undercut Microsoft and Sony, so I think so. Maybe the lower one, if things get really out of control, maybe the lower one is under 1,000, like 800, and maybe the bigger one is 1,000 or
like
close to 1,000.
Like that, yeah.
Well, like the lower one might be 890 or 895 or 875, and the bigger one's like 999. Like it's just under 1,000, even though it's 1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 999. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
There's definitely going to be two price points.
All right. Well, chat, that is going to do it for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Episode 469 is in the can. We do appreciate you for supporting us, coming out, watching the show, hitting the like button, becoming a member. We do this every single like 48 Thursdays of a year. This is the last show of 2025. We'll be back on January 1st on New Year's Day for the first episode, which will be 470, starting our 12th season of Generation X Gaming. We started all the way back in May of 2014, 2015. So it wasn't a full year for that, but we're starting our 12th season. So you guys have a safe holiday. Be safe. Have a happy new year. I will be live on Monday and Tuesday morning, and then I'm off for the holiday, and we'll be back the following week for the end of December. So my morning show, The Daily Grind, is still here, but it's only Monday, Tuesday next week. And then we're off next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I come back Monday, Tuesday, and back to normal. Don't miss a beat. So if you guys like it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Come out to the morning shows, The Daily Grind. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks for hanging with us all year.
What about Kwanzaa? Kwanzaa? No? All right. Have a good one.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips.